day.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Happy Hump Day from the opening drive on 101 ESPN in St. Louis at 7 o'clock. Time check brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. It is September 6th, and therefore the weather in St. Louis is wonderful. 71 degrees and allegedly mostly sunny at the moment. Brooke Grimsley is here. Super Bowl champ Kerry Davis is here. I'm Randy Carricker. Matthew Rocchio is our producer and audio engineer. You guys seeing the mostly sunny? I'm not quite seeing it.
Mostly.
Yeah.
Barely. I think maybe barely sunny is the best
Really
description.
sunny.
71 and no humidity, though. We can live with this. This is going to be a good
I
day.
can deal with that.
It's going to be
I
a
like
great
how
day.
you said allegedly. Is that the new term that we need to make sure we use moving
Allegedly.
forward to
Yes.
just to really cover
I think there's a couple of things you can go with. You can go with, I'm just saying.
Yes.
With all due respect.
With all due respect. Those are the ones, the three. Allegedly, I'm just saying with all due respect. You can really say pretty much anything except the magic curse words on the air.
After that.
And get away with it.
exactly.
Because somebody says, no, I didn't take steroids. You said... You say, well, I said I'm just saying. It's me. That's my opinion.
And if it's like a mean opinion, then you can add the old Southern at the end. Well, bless your heart. Bless their heart.
Exactly.
You know? It's not that bad if you say that at the end.
No, not at all.
Be okay. Oh.
The Cardinals are coming, tra-la,
Tra-la, tra-la.
The Cardinals are going, tra-la,
Tra-la, tra-la.
Look out on the mess, tra-la,
Tra-la,
tra-la.
tra-la.
The Cardinals are coming, tra-la, tra-la. How about our Redbirds? Ooh, CD.
That was
CD.
a good win
That's-
last night.
Yeah, that's 2 wins in a row.
It is.
You know what happens?
If you win 3, it's a winning streak. And it has happened before.
See, Carrie, sometimes positivity sucks.
And
Every time we say that, though, it
Well,
stops.
but here's
It
the thing.
stops
But-
quickly in its tracks.
Here's what is different today. One of the oldest adages and one of the most apropos adages in sports is that to be the man, you have to
Beat the man.
And what did the Cardinals do last night?
They beat the man.
Yes, they
the
did.
hell out of 'em.
10-6 over the Atlanta Braves. Braves think they're going to win the World Series.
Wait, did you get a little nervous around the 8th inning, though?
I was going to text you guys. The Cardinals are going to lose this game.
How things were going.
Thank goodness, yeah.
Who's on the mound?
Yeah.
Well, how many runners? Uh-oh.
Not great.
I was starting to get a little nervous even during Miles Michaelis when he gave up that first solo home run and the timing of it. Poor BT, where he was talking about, well, you know, it's okay if you give up one solo homer and then just another one right after that. I was like, oh.
So the Braves scored first. Ozzie Albies with a homer in the first inning. Cardinals came back with a J-Dub RBI double to tie at 1-1 in the second. And then later in the second with J-Dub aboard.
Swing and a drive hit high in the air toward left. Back goes Rosario. That ball is long gone. And the Cardinals have taken the lead.
That's Tyler O'Neill. And, oh, man, you just get him in the lineup for 125 games. Ho, ho, ho. You've got
Don't do
something.
it, Randy. Don't do it.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah, don't do it.
Okay.
Don't. What did you say? Don't believe anything after the All-Star, after the trade deadline?
After the trade deadline.
There you go.
Okay.
Well, he's barely been around even then.
Yeah,
That's
right, good point. So, yeah, we'll believe that. So it's 3-1 Cardinals after 2, and then in the third inning, with Goldy aboard, Nolan Gorman hit one hard.
Swing and a fly ball left center. Harris on the run. He's going to turn and watch that one go. An opposite field homer for Gorman.
So 5-1 Cardinals after 3, and they weren't done yet. We get to the fourth inning. Jordan Walker is from the Atlanta area. He's already doubled one home. Now he does this.
That's loud and hit to center. Harris on the run, still going. That ball is gone. 15th home run for Walker. The Cardinals have hit 3 of them so far.
And the Cardinals led 6-1 at that point. They were up 9-6 in the ninth inning, top of the ninth, when Nolan Gorman did it again.
And he's been all over the globe as this ball's hit high in the air toward right. Acuna will turn and watch that one sail over the bricks. It's a 2-homer game for Gorman. And there's some insurance. It's 10-6.
Oh, man, when Nolan Gorman plays, when he's not dealing with back issues,
When did that happen?
about a week back.
Okay.
Oh, no. It's
7:04.
7:04.
Yeah.
The time check and back check brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers.
An officially licensed Rolex jeweler. The Cardinals,
That's so bad.
Cardinals win at 10-6. Miles Michaelis, as Brooke mentioned, he goes 6 2/3, allows 3 runs, another quality start for Miles. 8 hits, he struck out 2 and also walked a pair. Then Jean King. When you go scoreless, then you can be Jean for us. Giovanni Gallegos, of course, pitched a third of an inning and allowed a couple of runs. It's just who he is. Andre Palante, of course, pitched 2/3 of an inning and allowed a run. And then Ryan Helsley came on to clean things up. But, so this is kind of the way it goes. Gallegos, you figure, going to allow a run, did. Palante's going to allow a run, did. But the Cardinals win at 10-6. So I'm going to go Sunshine Lollipops today.
We said it at the beginning of the season. You just have to outslug your opponents. That is the game plan for the Cardinals. As long as they do that, doesn't matter what the pitching does. You just got to outslug. That's possible, right?
been
To
wrong
just
about that.
outslug them?
May have been wrong. I don't know.
It worked last night, at least.
It's a little nerve-wracking when you got relievers coming in and you got to, you're up, but you don't feel good being up. It kind of makes you a little nervous.
Before the game yesterday, the Cardinals activated Matthew Liberatore from the 15-day IL, and he is going to be in the bullpen now. Yoho Romero, left knee patellar tendonitis on the 15-day IL, retroactive to September 2nd. Jose Fermin is back, baby. Recalled from Memphis, and as we mentioned yesterday, Taylor Motter, we hardly knew you. DFA'd.
Oh, no.
Third time this season. Will we see him again, guys?
No.
No.
I don't think so.
He's done?
I mean, are they calling anyone up? September call-ups? Any of the?
I think they did.
I'm talking
they activated guys. None of those guys. No.
Yeah, they won't do that.
No, because they can only go to 28 now, and so they just activated guys off the IL.
Yeah.
So that's the Bruce Bochy rule. When he had 40 players and he had 20 pitchers, he would use them all in one game. The Giants would be playing 5-hour and 20-minute 9-inning games. It was unbelievable. So that's baseball. And by the way, if you need to know, and this is important information for you, in the standings, the Cardinals have closed the gap to 17 games. So that's what they need to do to catch Washington. But in the wild card, Brooke and Carey, the Cardinals are a little bit closer, 11.5 behind Cincinnati. Oh, by the way, you've got in the battle for the National League last wild card spot, Philly and Chicago look like they're pretty safe. Philly 4.5 up, the Cubs 3.5 up. Cincinnati right now has the third wild card spot in the National League. Miami's a half game back. Arizona's 1 game back, and the Giants are 2 games back. In the American League, you've got only the Blue Jays and the Rangers really battling for the last spot. Boston is 5 behind. The Yankees are 7.5 behind. So a pretty good wild card race in the National League.
Yeah. I just want to touch on the Rangers. Did you guys see everything that happened with the Rangers last night and how the Astros are just destroying them? I think they've outscored them 27-7 in their first 2 games.
Yeah, Nathan Eovaldi had a rough night.
Yeah, that didn't go well.
Yeah, and Jose Altuve had an okay night.
Had a really good night.
Yeah.
3 home runs in the first 3 innings.
Yeah, pretty
Not
good.
bad.
Yeah.
He can do better.
So the Rangers are falling apart.
What did he do the rest of the game, Rocc? It's really what matters.
Can you do better?
The NFL season starts tomorrow night here on 101 ESPN. Chiefs and Lions pregame at 6:30. Chiefs got scary and maybe devastating news yesterday. Hyperextended knee for Travis Kelce. They were going to give him another MRI, and they're hoping that he doesn't have a torn ACL. I would suggest if Travis Kelce does have a torn ACL and is out for the season, that the Chiefs are, in elegant parlance, screwed.
Yeah, they are. I mean, he's their number 1 receiver. Who do you look to? I mean, you got a couple of guys. You got Sky Moore. You got Kadarius Toney.
Tony's not going to play.
Rice. Yeah, I'm saying on the roster. So
right.
if Kelce isn't able to play for an extended period of time, it's going to be rough for them this year.
Do you think that it's a little bit of a positive sign that Adam Schefter, he tweeted out that basically they're determining his availability for Thursday night, so that might be a sign that they are still considering him?
Yeah.
Maybe that is a positive, just looking for a positive in that.
Hyperextended knee usually gives you about a 5 to 7 day window. I've pretty much done everything.
What?
So now you could really just break it down of like with a recovery process.
Yeah, I can tell you exactly how long it's going to take.
If you were Travis Kelce, what would you do?
I wouldn't play.
Okay.
I mean, you understand it as a, you want to play. We always want to play, but one thing I I did that. I got my knee scoped on a Tuesday and played on a Saturday. Worst decision I ever made. Yeah, it was a terrible decision. And so, I look back on that moment and like, I probably should have sat out. And so you're looking at 2 days for the next game for them playing on Thursday night, getting hurt on Tuesday. It's not worth it. It's a long season. You got 16 more of these things, and then a few more if you're lucky. So I would hold them out because you don't want to further damage that knee.
I could see that. So just one game, maybe.
One game.
If
that's
and
what
then
it comes to, yeah. 1, 2 at the most if you're not feeling well. But if it's just hyperextended, I don't think it should be. And then you got a long break between the first and second game. So, 10 days. You should have more than enough time to recover if it's just that.
What if you have cartilage removed? That's not a big deal? I remember Marshall coming back, first play after cartilage removal, and I think it was 11 days after surgery. Yeah. And on his first carry, he goes 77 yards against the Panthers for a touchdown.
Tough guy.
That was Marshall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But sometimes when I got my knee scoped and got it cleaned up, it felt so much better. I had loose bodies, things that were floating around in my knee and causing it to lock up. And so when I got it removed, I felt like a new man. I felt like a new human. And then I got a staph infection, I think, on the
It's not great.
turf downtown. Yeah, it's unfortunate.
So I know a guy a soccer player, who got chicken
Cartilage.
Yeah, chicken cartilage put in his knee.
Yeah.
And it worked apparently for a while. Not forever, but it's
For a while.
yeah. And then then what you do is when it wears out, you just put it on the Traeger and you're cold.
I don't think you should. I don't think that's how that works. No.
I don't even think the Traeger can help the flavoring of that. I don't know.
So you got to use the pecan, Brooke.
That's what it is. Okay.
Don't go with the hickory.
All right.
I know it's a different sport,
Write that down.
While we're talking about knee injuries, I've always wanted to ask a former athlete this. When you see a guy like DeJuan Blair play multiple years of professional sport without ACLs, like how does that shock you?
Yeah, well, I mean, Sonny Michel was kind of the same way. He didn't have, what did he not have him? And he didn't have something. You could tell by how he ran. I mean, if your body is accustomed to it, you can knock yourself out.
Oh, yeah.
It's your body. Only you know how your body can respond and react to things.
Whatever the tendon is in your upper arm, I don't remember what tendon.
Bicep tendon?
Bicep tendon.
Yep.
So one summer during training camp, John Elway had bicep tendonitis, and it was really, really painful. And they were going to do surgery on it, and he was going to have to miss some time. And he's practicing, and he's throwing anyway, and the bicep tendon just snaps and rolls up in his arm.
Oh.
But he couldn't, if you don't have the tendon, you don't have tendonitis anymore. And he was golden.
Oh, my God. No, just the image and thought of that.
Brooke, I've seen hamstrings pop. And the hamstring rolls, and it's a knot. Like
it's like 3 inches, right?
Yeah,
and it just rolled up like a spring.
The pain that they try to massage scar tissue
puke this early in the morning. I just had breakfast.
They show guys his Achilles pop on live TV, and you see it too. You see
I know, I've seen it, and I don't want to see
it. My guy Michael Young, who has done radio with us, I was with him when he popped his Achilles. It was the loudest pop. And he looked back. He thought somebody had thrown something at him. He thought somebody kicked him, or he kind of looked back, and his foot just wouldn't. It just fell. It wouldn't stay up.
You know what's really bad that we don't talk about enough that's really debilitating? General soreness.
Oh man. How do people get through that?
Guys, we're not talking about that enough, and how that really affects people and players.
There's no way to cure it. I mean, they haven't come up.
They got Advil. Aleve. Ibuprofen. You pop a couple of them and
throw some dirt on it. So
that too.
When I don't remember what injury it was, because I've obviously been through so much with my stellar athletic career. I don't know if it was the heart surgery or the broken wrists, whatever it was. I think it was definitely the broken wrist.
Did you have tennis elbow at one point too?
Oh yeah. You know what? I got tennis elbow from golf.
Really?
Terrible. It was really sore. So yeah, I had to get that taken care of. But when it was my wrists, and I was popping Advil like they were M&Ms or something. It was like 10, 12 at a time, but it worked.
Yeah, you shouldn't do that.
No, I know. I heard. I found out later. Subsequently found out. Yeah, Randy, you shouldn't be taking Advil like that. Shouldn't be popping them.
I was taking hydrocodone like that at one point.
No,
like
now that's more intense.
5 or 6 a day. My doctor said, "Hey, why do you keep needing refills?" Hey, man, the bottle says take as needed. I need it. What do you mean? Yeah, you got to slow down.
Oh, that's good to know.
I was.
Oh, man.
2
That's scary
hours.
stuff.
Oh.
Scary stuff. Coming up on 101 ESPN, it's Hump Day, and that means it's Ask Uncle Randy Day. Get your text into the Air Comfort Service text line 314-399-9646, 314-399.
Yo-ho!
If you would like to participate, it's, hey, this is the best time of year. It's fun. This is the time where, you've got the fantastic weather outside. You've got some baseball pennant races, just not here in St. Louis. But you've got the start of the football season. You've got young love. You've got a new beginning. So send us your text, and we'd love to hear from you. And Ask Uncle Randy is coming your way next on 101 ESPN.
How long we got?
question for Uncle Randy? Let him dive into his infinite well filled with wisdom to find you answers. Text 314-399-9646. It's Ask Uncle Randy on 101 ESPN.
I've been around, you know.
It's time for Ask Uncle Randy. We appreciate your texts, and this is where we talk life in the opening drive, and this is important stuff. We know that you have a lot going on, and if you have a question for me, because I can provide 61 years of wisdom for you, sage advice for you, but Carrie is here, Brooke is here, and they bring their own experiences. We want to help you. We want to make your life better. So send in that text. And Matthew, what do we got? What's our first one?
Uncle Randy and Coach Carey, all this talk of college coaches jumping to the pros. If I'm a coach, how do I motivate grown men already carrying a bag?
They are motivated because of said bag. I mean, if you're an NFL coach, I think it's difficult sometimes because those guys are making more than you, but the NFL is strictly a business, and it's about production. It's about making sure you do your job effectively. And if you are not, I told you, my coach told me, we tolerate you till we can replace you. And he loved me. Like, he didn't dislike me. He's one of my favorite coaches, but that's the mindset of a professional coach, and it's really becoming the mindset of a college coach because of NIL, because of the transfer portal. They have so many opportunities to go get someone right now that can replace you, as opposed to in college, you would have to go recruit a kid, maybe wait 2 years before he was ready. Now you can go get a junior from another school, and he can replace the guy that is not performing well. So football has become a business. And young men that are playing college football, that are playing in the NFL, have to understand the business side of it.
If you go back to the greatest show on turf and look at the players that Dick Vermeil and Charlie Army drafted, people like Orlando Pace and Grant Wistrom and Robert Holcomb and Torrey Holt and Dre Bly, all self-starters, all very competitive people. And that's what you need to look for. I'm sure you look for your most competitive guys. If you're a college coach, the first thing you're asking a high school coach is, how much does he love it? How much does he want to compete? Because there are a lot of talented players out there that don't really love competing.
That would be if I was coaching college football, that would be my first question that I asked the high school coaches. And that I would ask the player, what does this mean to you? How much do you love this? Because it's going to get hard. Yep. It's not always going to be fun. You're not always going to be scoring touchdowns, catching interceptions, making big tackles. How much do you love this that when it is hard, you're still willing to go forward and still push forward and not give in?
So basically what you want is players that you don't have to motivate, that motivate themselves.
Yes.
That's got to be hard. Dear Uncle Randy, my fiance and I got engaged in June, and our 3-year anniversary is coming up in a couple of weeks.
Congratulations.
She says that she doesn't want to do anything big since I am paying for an expensive ring, so I'm planning on just a nice dinner. Do you think this is enough, or should I be looking for more?
No, I think a nice dinner is fine. I think that, and Brooke, I want you to weigh in here, obviously. But I think with the nice ring and with where you are in life right now, I would suggest that a nice, memorable meal would be great.
I agree. No, I agree 100%, especially if she says that. And I know that sometimes we've discussed it. If you're worried about the little trickaroo, I'm sure he knows best what she means, if she actually means when she says that she's not expecting anything more. But to me, I think it's more about, it doesn't have to be a big grand dinner. It's more of just kind of making the memory around it, right? Like, or even small gestures, like if you just bring flowers to the dinner, or maybe it's a picnic that you took time to put together. And that doesn't have to be super expensive, but it makes it more of a special, memorable, intimate moment.
There you go. And avoid that poison ivy, by the way, on the picnic. Just for those out there that are tuned in. Avoid the poison ivy on the picnic. I'm just saying.
That's a very good point, because then that's memories and not a good way.
Not good.
You'll never forget that one. It'll stay with you for a little while.
Uncle Randy, I live and die by hook 'em horns, and my girlfriend, for whatever reason, says roll tide. You're both wrong. What would be a friendly wager to put on the game this weekend? Also, do I get the spread since it's in Tuscaloosa?
So
you've got to bet on the game? Is that smart?
Brooke, you want to? Oh, hook.
Smart.
Oh,
yeah.
The downward
Sorry.
horns. Downward horns.
The texter can't see, but I'm doing horns down.
Yep.
The original University of Tennessee is, or UT, I should say. Yes.
A great, according to former athletic director at Texas Lost Odds, a great season for Missouri is a bad season for Texas. Well, that means that Texas has had a lot of bad seasons lately. So if you are an Alabama fan and she is betting on the University of Texas Longhorns, I would say pick out your favorite thing and go for it. I think that'd be, you don't even have to worry about what she's going to get because Texas is not winning that football.
Well, here's the thing.
Oh.
I don't know because Texas is actually a really good team. They should have beaten Alabama last year in Texas. Quinn Ewers got hurt, and so when that happened, the game kind of changed. And I think Texas lost by like 4 points. It was a really good game. Texas is supposed to be as good, if not better, than they were last year. I mean, you lose Bijan Robinson, so we don't know how much better you can be when you lose the 7th overall pick, I believe. But they are poised to. But Alabama is Alabama. So
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be just. I mean, I won't be able to watch it
Yeah.
because of Spectrum.
We
But I'll
love
have
Spectrum.
to go some.
So,
No.
But
not right now.
Let's get back to the question, though. What would be a reasonable thing to bet on? I would say, again,
There's some things you can bet with your significant other.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
there's a lot of things you can bet.
You can. There's CD. I get what you're doing over here. And that's,
I was thinking the same thing.
I saw the smile. If you check out YouTube, you can go back and watch that. What happened? I will say though, out of the two evils that you presented there, I'd prefer Texas over Alabama with whatever you're choosing.
No, I just can't like Texas.
Really?
No,
I
that's,
mean, I don't have
that is a, with all due respect again, that is a greedy, evil organization.
And Alabama's not?
At least Alabama is willing to share the wealth evenly with everybody else in the SEC, as opposed to Texas, who had that Longhorn network and tried to bury everybody else in the Big 12.
That's true. Yeah.
And they were just so arrogant about it, and they weren't that good with Texas. They just weren't that good. So I think they're self-aggrandizing, and so I would be less inclined to like.
Maybe it's just me because I love
Tennessee.
the whole Manning dynasty, and so I'm just interested to see what Archie does.
Yeah, Texas next year. Welcome to the big leagues.
Oh, there we go.
Florida and California schools are in the same conference now, and it's because of Texas.
Yeah.
They started this anarchy. Oh, I can.
Yeah, so basically,
blame Texas
I
for
will.
everything.
Yeah.
God,
So I would say ask for what you, as Mr. Alabama fan, ask for the thing that you
He's a
like
Texas
best.
fan.
Yeah, he's a Texas fan. She's an Alabama fan.
Then you're screwed. And not in a good way.
Dear Uncle Randy, I just took a full-time job and I hate it. How soon is too soon to quit? I've been there for 2 months.
I would say that there is actually, I think it's best if you're employable and you can find the next job because you need a job. I would say rip the Band-Aid off. I would say if you hate it and you aren't going to be happy there and you know you're not going to be happy there, I always come back to this one. I always come back to your happiness, your personal happiness. I think it's very important that you experience happiness. So I would say rip the Band-Aid off, and if you can quit right away, quit right away. If you hate it, why go through life hating what you have to do a third of the time that you're awake? Oh, no, more than a third of the time that you're alive. So don't be miserable.
That's true. Very true.
Brooke knows that.
All right, one more. Dear Uncle Randy, I got divorced after being with someone for 12 years, and after being out in the dating scene, I found a wonderful woman, and we've been together for about a year. She checks all the boxes for me, and I'm thinking about asking to marry her and marry me, but we both have kids, and we live about 45 minutes away from each other, and the prospect of blending homes and moving in together is not an option in the foreseeable future. What's your advice on navigating this life, even though we can't move in and be together?
Navigating the life is the key. If you have to be creative in navigating this life, just find a way to make it happen and find a way to spark joy. And if you can't blend the families and you can't, for whatever reason, if you can't work this thing out so that you're closer together, just find a way to navigate it from essentially, not a long distance, but a medium distance perspective. But just use your love as a foundation and the wait will be worth it. The juice will be worth the squeeze in the end.
Was that off a Hallmark card? I mean, that
No, that was from the
Let
movie
the Journey of
Girl
Love
Next Door.
Thank you
drive
very
you.
much.
Oh,
Yeah,
there you go.
Timothy Oliphant.
Oh, that was like, I was like, it sounds too familiar.
Not just Timothy Oliphant, Alicia Cuthbert.
Oh, yeah, and her dad, or no, her uncle, famous hockey broadcaster up in Canada, eh? And she's married to Dion Phaneuf, correct?
I
Alicia
knew the
Cuthbert.
second part.
Yep.
I did not know her dad was a famous hockey announcer.
eh?
That movie is just a very formidable movie in my
I'll bet.
growing up
I'll
years.
bet it. Yeah, I'll bet it was.
And that line
What's
is
the
just,
name of the movie?
The Girl Next Door.
Oh, okay.
Is
It's
the
been a long
Is the juice
time
worth
since
the
I've
squeeze?
seen. Yeah.
You
I
learned
don't
that
think
at
I've
12
ever
years
seen that.
old. It changes how you think about
Yep.
life, Carrie.
I don't think I've ever seen it.
By the
That
way,
changed your life at 12 years old.
Is the juice worth the squeeze?
That's
I've
what
been
it is.
asking myself. Look, Brooke, I have been at crossroads asking myself the question: is the juice worth the squeeze? Since I was 12 years old, and it's always a good way to look at things.
and I think, if you just look at it from Matthew's 12-year-old perspective, I think you get it too.
I learned it at 12.
Yeah.
It's like
You learned
learning
a lot at 12.
It's like learning the difference between right and wrong.
Yeah. Thank you, Matthew.
Thank you, Randy.
And thank you very much for your text to Ask Uncle Randy. Why are you laughing, bro?
It's just there's a lot of innuendos today.
We're just having fun.
Anyway, that was Ask Uncle Randy. Thank you very much for joining us here on 101 ESPN. Coming up as we roll on, use it or lose it. Which veteran quarterback will shock the doubters the most this season? That's coming your way next on the opening drive on 101 ESPN.
This is Rocky with your Sports Center update, driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. The Cardinals with a big win yesterday over the Atlanta Braves, 10-6. Miles Michaelis gets the start, 6 2/3 innings pitched, 8 hits, 3 earned runs, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts, but he does allow 3 home runs. Speaking of home runs, the Cardinals offense gets 4. Tyler O'Neill, Nolan Gorman, and Jordan Walker all go yard. Gorman twice, and they combined for 7 RBI out of those Cardinals 10 runs. They're back in action again today. It's a 6:20 first pitch. It'll be Dakota Hudson facing off against Spencer Strider for the Atlanta Braves. Strider on the season 16-4 with a 3.56 ERA. That is your Sports Center update, driven by Johnny Londoff. Find your road and shop 24/7 at londoff.com and londoffautoplex.com. Are you kidding me?
The NFL season starts tomorrow night across the state in Kansas City. The Chiefs take on the Lions. We'll have the action for you here on 101 ESPN. Pre-game at 6:30 and then the action just after 7 o'clock here on your home of the NFL in St. Louis, 101 ESPN. Triple header on Sunday, noon. Brooks Tennessee Titans will take on the Saints. At 3 o'clock, you've got the Patriots, boo, against the Eagles. Go Philly, fly Eagles fly. And then the Sunday night game, the Giants, who have saved the world on a couple of occasions, taking on, how about them Cowboys?
I was waiting for you to sneak something in like you did yesterday.
About
Daniel Jones.
Oh, yeah, 2023 NFL MVP, Daniel Jones. Look out.
They got to win games for him to be
He won
the
a
MVP.
road playoff game last year. They won games. They're going to win games. They're going to be even better than they were last year. Brian Daboll is terrific. They've added to their core. Yeah,
Saquon Barkley was their leading receiver.
That's the problem, and they've addressed that during the offseason. They're going to be better. They've addressed their offensive line. Their offensive line is healthy. So anyway, we're going to talk quarterbacks here.
Okay.
Which veteran quarterback is going to shock the doubters most this season? We've got a list for you. We've got Matthew Stafford of the Rams. I don't think anybody is taking him.
No.
We've got
Wait,
A-Rod.
why not, guys? No, I'm kidding.
Because he can't relate to his young teammates.
I was going to say, his receivers don't like him. How can you not roll with him?
Yep. We've got Mr. Unlimited.
I will tell you, after watching Russell Wilson play football last year, I love football. Randy. I mean, it means the world to me when it's done the right way, when it's played the right way, when guys are doing the things in the system or, sometimes out of the system. I don't know what the heck Russell Wilson was doing last year. I honestly, that's the best way I can, but I don't know what he was doing. I don't know I think the defense was outstanding. They were the number 1 defense in the league, the best scoring defense in the league. And to not get 20 points a game, to not get 17 points a game, that's all you needed.
Here's what happens.
That defense was balling.
Peyton Manning goes to Denver because he wants to coach, and he's the offensive coordinator in Denver, and he coaches, and they put up 600 points. Tom Brady leaves New England, goes to Tampa Bay because he wants to coach. He wants to be the offensive coordinator here. He's seen what Manning has done. He goes there with all that talent, and he's great as a coach and as a player. Russell Wilson wants to coach. Russell Wilson wants to let Russ cook, okay? He wants to get out of Seattle. He wants to coach. So he gets there, and he coaches, and he's an abysmal failure. What he needs is the structure of a coach. If he's willing to accept the coaching of Sean Payton, he may have a chance to be good. But it wasn't going to happen under his coaching. That was what they ran into.
I don't know if he is that type of player, though. For me, Russell Wilson has always been electric because of what he's done outside of the pocket. The ability to extend plays, to allow his receivers to make plays downfield. Those are the things that, when you watch Russell Wilson, those are the plays that you remember. It's not in-pocket, on-time passes, and that's what Peyton is going to be expecting from him is on-time passes, getting to the receiver, getting the ball out of your hand. And I don't know if Russell Wilson has that ability.
Yeah, I think that it's really interesting. Did you guys see that report yesterday from ESPN about what Sean Payton said to Russell Wilson, kind of a harsh reality check, where he said he needs to stop focusing, Payton saying this to Wilson, so much on Russell Inc. And he says, will you stop effing kissing all the babies and you're not running for public office.
But he is.
But that's what it feels like. Do you think that sometimes, and you've seen this, like some players can handle when they kind of move into that celebrity status off the field? Do you think that maybe that got too much to him where it took away his focus from what he should be doing, which is just being a quarterback?
When you announce a contract extension laying in bed with Sierra on video, on social media, yes, it has gotten to you too much.
It's a little strange.
Yeah.
It just, I mean, you know, I don't know the man. I don't know his personality. I don't know who he is or how he is. It just feels a little strange.
So,
I think the change came when they threw that pass in the Super Bowl instead of handing it to Marshawn Lynch. When you made an effort, a conscious decision to try to make him the Super Bowl hero as opposed to just winning the game, I think that had shifted at that point.
Right. So let's get to our other quarterbacks that could shock the NFL. Lamar Jackson, Jimmy Garoppolo, Derek Carr, or Baker Mayfield, who may or may not have Mike Evans available to him with Tampa. Does any name stick out to you like a blinking red light that can shock the NFL? I've got one. You guys go ahead.
Do you want me to go ahead first?
Ahead.
Okay. My pick, and I was debating about this. No, I add Ryan Tannehill. He's not even on the list. I'm like, well, you go, you know what?
If you want to go with Ryan Tannehill, you can.
That would be really funny, but I'm not. I'm going to go. I'm going to actually go with Aaron Rodgers. And I was debating about this morning because the question could be, well, is it really going to be that shocking with Aaron Rodgers? I think a lot of people are curious with him being 39, close to 40 soon, if he's going to be able to pull this off. To me, it feels like with the Jets, it's Super Bowl or bust, right? And it seems like a huge challenge. And he's getting all those pieces together. You have Alan Lazard, he worked with him, and then you have Dalvin Cook, and then you have offensive coordinator Nathaniel Hackett coming in. I think it's going to be really interesting to see what happens with Aaron Rodgers this season. And I think that there's a lot of doubters with Aaron Rodgers. Plenty of people lining up. I know that there's a lot of people who support him as well, but I feel like there's a lot of people doubting that he will be able to make this big shift where he's going from the Packers, that legacy, moving on to the Jets.
For me, I think it's plain and simple. It's Lamar Jackson. It's whether or not he can get return to form of his MVP season, and even better, he's got better weapons. Odell Beckham Jr., Rashad Bateman, who hopefully can stay healthy. You go and draft Zay Flowers in the first round. You have Mark Andrews, who is, I think now, with Kelsey being injured and aging, probably the best tight end in the game. George Kittles is there, but I think Mark Andrews is definitely, if not one, he's 1B, 1A, 1B, maybe 2, but he's right there. The question, I think, for Lamar and for Baltimore Ravens fans and for all of the NFL is, what is Todd Monken going to be able to do? The new OC coming from Georgia, is he able to establish a game plan that allows Lamar Jackson to do what he does best? He runs the ball really well. He passes the ball really well. There were some formation, some routes last year that you had people in the same spot over and over and over again, and you're wondering, like, what in the heck? Who taught this? Who's coaching this? So Todd Monken has a new leash on life for Lamar. He's going to be able to hopefully open it up, and I think they've got some. Watch out for Zay Flowers. He is a spectacular young talent. He's going to be electric, and I think the Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens are going to be really, really good.
I am going to go kind of off the board here, not off of our board, but somebody that people really aren't talking about. I'm going with Derek Carr in New Orleans, who's a pretty darn good quarterback.
Okay.
And Michael Thomas is back and apparently healthy. I love Chris Olave. He had a really good rookie year, and I think he's going to be a terrific wide receiver in the NFL. Rashid Shaheed, they've got a good young tight end in Juwan Johnson. They've got a rebuilt offensive line. They spent their first-round draft choice last year on Trevor Penning, who had a really good rookie year. They've got a solid offensive line. They've got the guy who led the NFL in rushing touchdowns last year, Jamal Williams, now playing at running back. They're going to get Kamara back after week 4, and I think he's in a perfect spot, loves playing in dome stadiums. He's got a pretty good division to play in. I think Derek Carr is the guy to shock the NFL.
And he got a really good defense. If you are able to, once Alvin Kamara gets back, they are going to be, and if Michael Thomas can stay healthy, he is a guy that a few years ago led the league in receptions.
149.
And just all time. He is spectacular, but just unable to stay healthy the past couple of years. If you get him back in the fold, and Derek Carr, that's the one thing that they were missing last year was a quarterback. They had Andy Dalton. They had Jameis Winston. They were, and in that division, anybody could win that division. So I think Derek Carr, I think that's a really good pick for them.
Thank you.
The one thing I learned most putting this together is that the veteran quarterbacks in this league right now, it's just there are 4 quarterbacks I think who have a Super Bowl ring. And 2 of them are on this list, and none of you picked 2 of those guys. The other one's Patrick Mahomes. The dearth of like veteran quarterbacks with a lot of playoff and Super Bowl appearances, it might be one of the worst seasons we've seen in a long time.
She picked Aaron Rodgers.
Tell me a player that Matthew Stafford is. Yeah, tell me a player that Matthew Stafford is going to throw the ball to, with Cooper Kupp out.
Tyler Higbee.
Well done.
I drafted him.
There's one.
He had 100 and some targets last year. You better believe he gonna get some
I guess we
targets.
still have Van Jefferson.
It's more just a comment to just how we've lost a lot of great quarterbacks over the years, and the young ones have yet to really take over.
One that didn't let anybody else win any.
Yeah, and the young ones have yet to take over other than Mahomes.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Completely.
So those are our picks. Brooke going with A.A. Ron, Lamar Jackson to Kerry Davis, and by the way, Lamar Jackson, part of Kyler's film room.
Aaron Rodgers is actually my quarterback, and the name of our fantasy football team is what is it again?
Rodgers?
Is it Rodgers
Darkness
Retreat. Yes.
There you go.
So it was very important that I drafted him. Yes.
And CD, is your quarterback on this list?
I don't know. I got 4 or 5 fantasy leagues.
Okay.
I can't keep up.
CD's taking Lamar here. He's got a bunch of Ravens on his fantasy team. I think he's starting to come over a little bit.
Here's the thing. No, in real life, this is fantasy. Do you understand? I need people to
You're
understand
fantasizing being a Raven?
No,
Is that what's going on?
that. Fantasy is about getting points, and I think there are a lot of Ravens that are going to get a lot of points.
I can tell you this.
I got Brock Purdy.
Kerry. Okay.
In 101.
Okay.
Here's, and we need to get to take it or leave it in a moment. But even though it's fantasy, maybe that's even worse. I have not had, and will not have the moral flexibility to have a Patriot or a Los Angeles Ram on my squad.
Wow.
I want to win, Randy.
Yeah, I'm not going to win at the expense of rooting for those.
So even
ne'er-do-wells.
if a super healthy Cooper Kupp was an option, and it was right there for you to take.
You know who he's taking money from?
Stan.
It's terrible.
Uncle Stan.
Terrible.
Rock does too. He's here every day.
I wish I was wearing my Jokic shirt right now.
Yeah, well, he clearly has moral flexibility. He can. If somebody could hire him to be a hitman. That's the thing.
Rock.
Yep, he could.
Who are we taking out? Who are we taking out?
There you go. Coming up next, get your text into the Air Comfort Service text line 314-399-9646, 314-399. Yo-ho! Take it or leave it, coming your way on 101 ESPN.
Mr. Unlimited.
send it right back. Get your text into 314-399-9646 and give us your take it or leave it.
Brought to you by Gloria Lou Realty. Visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com and start packing.
That's my final offer. Take it or leave it.
Time for Team Elite here on 101 ESPN. Get your text in now. Brooke, Carrie, Randy, Matthew. Guys, we saw last night that Giancarlo Stanton hit his 400th career home run. Since he got to the Yankees to start the 2018 season, and let's go back here, Giancarlo Stanton had an opportunity to come to St. Louis. The Cardinals had a trade done with Miami to have Giancarlo Stanton be here, but he said no. I'm not. He had a no trade. I'm not going to St. Louis. I'm not going to San Francisco. I will only go to the Yankees, the Astros, the Cubs, or the Dodgers. Those were the four teams. He got traded to the Yankees. Since arriving with the Yankees, they have played 846 games. He has played 534, hitting 247 with a total in New York of 133 home runs. Take it or leave it, the luckiest move that Mo ever made was the move that didn't happen when Stanton decided to not come to St. Louis.
Thank you.
Ooh, I'm going to take that.
No,
And by the way,
I'm going to leave it.
They were going to take the full contract.
I'm going to leave it because
take
the
the
luckiest
full
move
contract.
was getting Albert back and him performing the way that he did. That was luck. No one expected that.
Yeah, that was lucky.
Yeah.
No one expected that.
But
Yeah.
if they get Stanton, they never get Goldschmidt, they never get Arenado.
That's where
And they probably don't get Albert back.
Yeah.
that's true. That's my whole thing is that there's a huge ripple effect with that. Albert was spectacular. The fact that he was able to do that in things like that in St. Louis was such a great story and experience. You wouldn't have gotten that with Stanton
No.
coming here.
So what's you guys know how to do percentages?
Sure.
So, okay, 534 divided up by 846, is that right? 534 divided by 840. I need somebody to tutor me on math. He's played 63% of their games.
There you go.
Thank you for tutoring me.
You did it right, Randy. All you got to do is just multiply by 100.
I needed to.
I needed that in high school.
honestly.
Math is always, I like math.
Yeah.
Really?
Like, yeah, I do.
I don't like it.
I kind of, when I go places
Thank
and
you,
I
bro.
give them cash, and I try to figure out how much change it is. Sometimes you got to help them.
So when I
because
was-
they don't have their
Yeah.
computer.
When I was in the industry, when I was in the industry, we didn't have computers
You
because
had to-
it was like the 80s.
Had to figure it out on your own.
So, but here's what you do: somebody gives you a 20, and your bill is $12.57. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so you say 57, 60, 75, up to $1. Okay, that takes me up to 13, 14, 15, 5 is 20. Boom.
Mm-hmm. There you
Easy,
go.
done. That's math. Thank you.
You're
Mathing.
You did
We
it.
did it.
I did it.
You did it.
Yes.
Very
You
proud of
me?
you. I'm very proud of you,
I'm so
Randy.
proud of you. Gold star.
So we'll do some lazy radio, as you like to call it, Randy. I was looking at this.
I like this.
I was
Thank you.
looking at this list of teammates. We always talk about how much Jordan had, how much help he had. So I was looking at the list of Hall of Famers that he's played with. He's got Scottie Pippen, Dennis Rodman, and Robert Parrish.
Bobby P.
Yeah, as Hall of Fame teammates in his career. He might miss one or two. Artis Gilmore, I think, played a couple of games, maybe 25, but not really.
No Ron Harper.
He's not a Hall of Famer.
No John Paxson.
Not a Hall of Famer.
Okay.
Not many Hall of Famers on Jordan's list. LeBron's list. Dwayne Wade, he a Hall of Famer?
Hall of Famer.
Anthony Davis, he a Hall of Famer? Kyrie Irving, he a Hall of Famer?
Hall of Famer.
Chris Bosh, he a Hall of Famer? Russell Westbrook, he a Hall of Famer?
Yes, he is.
Kevin Love, is he a Hall of Famer?
Yes.
Ray Allen, he a Hall of Famer?
Yes.
Let's see, Carmelo Anthony?
Yes.
Shaquille O'Neal.
I'd say so, yeah.
He's had some Hall of Fame teammates. So when we talk about not having help, and we take it or leave it. Yeah, I forgot what segment we were talking about. Take it or leave it. LeBron has had more help than Jordan.
Take it.
Ooh, take it. Wait. Oh, let's get the Rockio cam for this one.
Rocky, who, by the way, doesn't think that Michael Jordan's a top 10 all-time player.
He
That's
does
not.
No, it's Kobe.
Why
It's
are we?
Kobe.
That's,
It's Kobe.
why are we slandering
It's
me
Kobe.
like that? Come on
Okay,
now.
sorry
I'm
about
not-
that.
It's Kobe. You
Yeah.
don't think
Who
Kobe
had more
is-
help, LeBron or Michael?
LeBron has.
Okay.
There we go.
Much more.
Yeah, but I don't think the narrative about LeBron not hasn't
You
been,
hear that? You hear that sound? That's me resting my
but
case.
that hasn't been the narrative about LeBron since Cleveland.
But LeBron, if I'm not mistaken, he has
Playing
won.
with Kyrie and Kevin Love. They are Hall of Famers.
And he won.
Yeah, he's won MVP.
And they lost,
yeah.
too.
Yeah, he's won MVP in every finals he's been in, LeBron has, right?
Not in everyone. He's lost.
Well,
in everyone that he's
because
won.
like Jordan lost almost half of his.
Randy, no. He never lost any. He won. He won all of them.
Oh.
He was really good.
Okay, never mind.
Yeah, he was really good. He was spectacular.
It's okay, Rod.
First round exit loss.
It's okay.
Pistons a bunch of times early in his career.
Against who?
Pistons.
The world champion Pistons? Yes.
2 times it was, yeah. Not all the time.
Go ahead. Continue, bro.
Okay, take it or leave it.
By the way, can I get one more here?
Oh, sure. Go ahead.
So, I know Lars is 48.
Okay. Oh, no. Whoa.
There will never be a basketball player with more pressure on him than Marcus Jordan and Larsa Pippen's son.
Oh. If they have to? Yeah, take it.
Well, when they have children, I guess.
Bloodlines?
Take
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
I guess no, she doesn't really have anything
She
to do
doesn't
with it.
count.
Does
She just has. She had
she was
the
just
last
married
name.
to
She's got
Scotty.
the last name.
So maybe Marcus should
Association.
have gotten together with Scotty and Lars's daughter. Okay, sorry about that. Bro.
Oh God, no.
It would have been a better fit.
Yeah, that is still controversial. Anyways, we discussed this earlier, but the Rangers are kind of scuffling a little bit right now. The Astros have outscored them 27-7 in the first 2 games of their series, and the Rangers have lost 10 of their last 14 games. Take it or leave it. The Cardinals actually look good in this trade. You were able to give away essentially just 2 rentals, and I know it's hard losing Jordan Montgomery, but this is the season wash, right? It was a wash. Well, I don't know about Jordan Montgomery. So then you give up Chris Stratton, Jordan Montgomery. Things still haven't panned out for the Rangers. We have Tekoa Roby and Thomas Ajayci, who is doing fantastic in the minor leagues, by the way. How about that?
I'm going to take that. Yeah, that trade actually looks really good right now.
We
It
won the
does.
trade right now?
Yeah.
As of right now.
I can't tell you how proud I am of you saying kind of scuffling, by the way.
I know.
I would call Gene Stallings, the old football Cardinal coach, for his Monday show, and he would do it on the phone. And after a loss, inevitably, he'd call up and say, Coach, how you doing? He'd go, Randy, kind of scuffling.
How about that?
So, all right. So what do we got on the text line there, Matthew?
Take it or leave it. Jordan Walker should be in the 3-hole between Goldy and Arenado next season.
Take it.
Leave it.
Oh, who's going to be there? No,
Gorman.
He won't be here. Right?
Oh, if he's not here, then
he's
Jordan
not.
Walker.
Yeah.
I would love to have a left-handed bat between those guys, though. And if Gorman is here, then I want him between those guys.
Would you see Jordan Walker batting in the 2-hole?
I would love that.
And have Goldy and
Walker
Arenado?
2, Goldy 3,
Yeah.
Gorman 4, Arenado 5. Whew,
Leading
doctor.
off would be
Mason Winn.
leading off.
Yeah.
He got
Really?
speed on the bases.
Where's Donovan at?
He's got his
Super utility guy. There we go.
That's what we'll be saying.
Not at all. Oh, this is an easy one. Take it or leave it. My pups are good boys, and they deserve a slice of lunch meat before I close the bag.
Totally take it.
Take it.
Always.
No, I'm gonna have to leave it. You can't let them get. You can't let them get big.
Always.
Yeah, you can.
One slice.
It's a snack.
Lunch meat. It's protein, bro.
Our dog, literally, anytime he sees us at the fridge, he just comes sitting.
You gotta pay the tax.
I know you got something for me.
You gotta pay the tax.
Anytime I get ice out of the ice
The
machine,
fridge tax. Everybody does the fridge tax, huh? With their dog.
I'm glad that it's you getting ice out of your ice machine. Because you got a big dog. Does your dog ever
Yes.
go up and tap on the
No,
thing?
he hasn't learned that yet. I hope
Darby
he
Shaw
never
does that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I hope he never figures that out.
No, that's a bad
But he
thing.
can get his own ice. It'll be
once
bad.
had the very first golden retriever we had. I taught him how to get me a Diet Coke. His name was Midas with the golden touch too. And so I put a towel on the fridge, and brilliant dog. And so I would say, Mighty, can you go get me a Diet Coke? You go open the fridge with the towel and bring me a Diet Coke. But
That's
the problem
amazing.
was he didn't close the refrigerator door.
So you had to get up and do it anyway.
Oh, no.
But he was amazing.
Yes. Stevie, we try to keep her away from extra treats like that. But she loves like vegetables.
Oh, really?
Carrots,
Yeah.
cucumbers, all that stuff. She likes that for
Yeah,
treats.
Moose the lab does not eat vegetables. He's a carnivore.
So you focus on the fact that when a texter texted in and said, "Should I give my dog a little treat?" Everyone here said yes, except for Brooke.
Oh No.
No,
Just not
that's
lunch meat.
No, you're manipulating what I said. I was saying I give her lots of treats, but what? Yes, I have CD. You're completely right. I'm saying that I just don't want. I want healthier options for my doggie, so she doesn't get big.
And I want my dogs to be super unhealthy. So I even this is bad. This is really bad. I hope nobody's listening. Like last night, chocolate cake. I let Moose
No.
If you're gonna have life, enjoy it. He doesn't.
But chocolate's not good for dogs.
It's just a few crumbs and it tastes great.
I don't know if they. This is the thing. When your dogs are eating, I don't know that they really taste it.
They don't care.
They're just.
But he's just licking a few crumbs so he gets it on his tongue. So
that's true. I think Stevie will literally eat anything.
Anything.
I think anything.
We were here like, no. My dog will have healthy snacks.
Had a dog that ate a full onion.
Bologna.
How did that go?
Oh man, he had an iron stomach. He never threw up.
Really?
His name was Opie. He was a part Samoyed, part German Shepherd. One time we come home, and so there's before we left, there had been a whole bowl of hard candy, the globe-shaped candy. So I get yelled at. Did you eat all of that hard candy? I said, no, I didn't even know we had it.
Oh, no.
And then you see Opie with the long hair with all these colorful globes on his fur.
No.
Ate all of it. It was brilliant. Thank you, Matthew.
Somebody pointed out that you don't like dogs, Rocc, and I think that's important we bring that up as we exit.
No.
Anyways, toss a break, Randy. You heard it here.
Should the Cardinals sign Mason, Winn, and Jordan Walker long-term next on 101 ESPN, where Matthew hates dogs?
You unbelievable hypocrites!
perspective on the day's top stories. It's the Opening Drive's Fresh Take.
Brought to you by Schnucks Rewards. Reward yourself. Earn 2% back on every purchase with the Schnucks Rewards app.
In St. Louis, time check brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. Brooke Grimsley, Kerry Davis, Randy Carricker, and we're seeing this week the best team in the National League. It's the Atlanta Braves, and they have been very creative in building and maintaining their team. As a matter of fact, their entire normal starting 8 is under contract for at least the next 3 years, and they've given big money, long-term contracts to guys that they have produced, like Austin Riley, like Spencer Strider, their young pitcher. They gave Michael Harris II a big deal, and notably, the first guys that they started this with were Ronald Acuna Jr. and Ozzie Albies. And so they know what they're going to have. They have cost certainty. As baseball inflation goes up, the Braves are going to have cost certainty for the next few years. And when you look at the Cardinals, with all of the young players they have, and we'll start with the two obvious top prospect guys in Jordan Walker and Mason Winn, but you also have Nolan Gorman, you have Brendan Donovan, you have Tommy Edman. You've got a large group of young players. I am of the opinion, Brooke and Kerry, that the Cardinals should take a similar tack and try to sign their young, especially position players, for the long term.
I agree. I think that that's what you should do. So you're specifically looking at Jordan Walker and Mason Winn.
And if you keep Gorman, if you're confident that Gorman's going to be healthy, you take care of him. But also, I think one of the guys that we tend to underestimate is Brendan Donovan. He's a really important player, I think, for the future of this franchise.
And I wonder, because his name was brought up quite a bit when it came to trade talks, or even maybe something you're looking at this offseason, because when we're looking at adding starting pitching, we've discussed this many times, you're probably going to have to part with either maybe a Tommy Edman, a Brendan Donovan, or a Nolan Gorman. So whoever maybe that you keep around from that you're not moving to get back some starting pitching via a trade, then you should lock them in.
Sign them.
I agree. I mean, when you're looking at, I'm looking at Ronald Acuna's deal, an 8-year, $100 million deal. Is that what type of break did the Braves get when they signed that? Looking at what he's done now, he's the first player ever with 30 home runs and 60 stolen bases in a season. He's going to be top 3 for MVP finalists when the season ends. You're looking at a guy that is 25 years old right now that is playing at an elite level, and you have him under contract for the next 6 years, and you're not overly paying for his services.
Here's some perspective for that. It's 2023 right now, and he signed that contract, I believe, in 2020, right?
At 21 years old. At 24 years old, I believe.
Okay, 8 years, $100 million. In 2004, the Cardinals signed Albert Pujols for 7 years and $100 million. More AAV in 2004 than Acuna is getting right now.
Yeah. Here's another layer to add to this is the way that TV contracts are going to play out in the future. Do you think that factors into helping you maybe convince to get some of these deals done a little bit sooner? Because that's going to have a huge effect, not just on sports in general, but in baseball. Because with everything that's playing out with Valley Sports and how that's going to work out, that's going to affect each one of these teams.
But I think the Cardinals know they're going to make more money.
And you save more money, though. If you do it now as opposed to in 5 years when Jordan Walker is due for when he's an unrestricted free agent, he's due for a contract, you're probably going to save yourself $100 million, maybe $80 million, something along those lines by paying him early. And you've seen what he's done since he returned. You saw what he did while he was here, having the hit streak, 12-game hit streak, longest for a rookie in St. Louis history, or was it Major League history? It was
St. Louis history.
St. Louis history. He did a fantastic job, went down, corrected some things, didn't correct some things. Whatever he did, he's back, and he's performing at an elite level right now. In the month of September, he is batting where is it at? His OPS is 1.829. That's pretty dang on good. And it's 4 games, but he's done a fantastic job. He's hit a home run in 3 of his last games, 4 of his last 5. He has been playing extremely well, and you want to keep a young player, get him paid now. Pay him now before his number goes up in a few years. He's like, nah, I'll just wait till my free agency comes around. And then you don't have to run into that arbitration where people say things that they don't like,
Right.
and they get into the arguments, and now one side is mad at the other side. You don't have to worry about that if you give them the contract now and get it over with.
And especially with how things played out this season, when you mentioned sending him down, this is another way to kind of correct that.
Yeah.
And I know that they said it was about launch angle and exit velocity. I don't know how much that actually played into it. I think it was more about the outfield issues and them trying to sort that out and taking him out of the equation while they were trying to figure it out. And so that could also right that wrong, which I still believe was a wrong in a sense. Luckily, it's worked out for him. The way that he has handled things, that is definitely a player that you want to keep around for a long time. We knew that the future was bright for Jordan Walker, but even seeing the adjustments, how quickly he's been able to make, and just this season alone at 21 years old, I think says a lot about him as a player.
So in Atlanta, Matt Olson is signed through 2029, Acuna through 2030, Austin Riley through 2030. I'm sorry, Acuna was 2026, Olson 2029, Riley 2030. Who are the Cardinal players? And by the way, Michael Harris and Sean Murphy and Spencer Strider also signed well into the back end of this decade. Aside from Winn and Walker, who are the guys that you want to lock in on? First of all, are there any Cardinal pitchers that you want to lock in on long term like they did for Strider?
No, thank you.
I don't think so either.
No.
Not right now.
No.
So are we mentioned Donovan and Edman. And Edman's only 28. He's been durable. Is Edman a guy that you sign long term?
I think yes, I think so. It's not going to be one of those extreme contracts that we're talking about with Jordan Walker or potentially Mason Winn. But you can get him, I think, for a nice size contract and keep him in the fold for the next 4 to 5 years, and know that you have second base and or center field covered with a guy that can do both.
I would love a world where you could keep both Brendan Donovan and Tommy Edman, because I think it helps with, one, we've seen their versatility and how much they've been able to help. But the thing is that with Mason Winn, it's going to take some time for him to get fully acclimated, especially offensively, that it kind of gives him a little bit where he doesn't have to stress out as much, having those two guys available. And I feel like they're meant to be utility players. But Tommy Edman, by the way, him last night in center, I mean, he looked absolutely fantastic. That's something that has really paid off for Ollie Marmol, is betting on him in center field.
Yeah. And then the other one that would be a roll of the dice, but other teams have tried this. What about Ivan Herrera?
See,
and let's not dismiss the fact that you have Contreras under contract for 4 more years.
I think that, because I don't know if Kisner's going to be here. We talked about whether or not they're going to have 3 catchers. I don't think that they will. I think that Herrera will be the backup, and you'll let Contreras play some catcher and then DH, and Herrera will be your guy. I don't know if you've seen enough to give him that contract just yet.
Yeah, that's
just
what I was going to say.
Not enough games been played. I don't feel like I thought when he was here, when he was playing, he did a fantastic job, both behind the plate and at the plate. But I think you need to see more before you say, okay, we're going to sign him to a long-term deal.
I just need a half season.
Just a little bit, yeah.
When the Mariners signed Julio Rodriguez last year, the big contract, I'm not talking about signing Herrera to a 13-year contract.
Yes.
But I just want to see him for half of a season. So I think we're zeroed in on about 4 players, and at the top of the list, Walker and Winn.
And when you're talking about a pitcher, just real quick, Zach Thompson, I think, is somebody definitely, maybe, if you're able to see on our more consistent level, is somebody, a pitcher that you would say, I could lock that in.
Absolutely. That's Brooke, that's Carrie, I'm Randy, and that's today's Fresh Take on 101 ESPN. Coming up, a brief break, and then Lutz Pfannenstiel, the sporting director for St. Louis City SC, next on 101 ESPN.
City knows how to play.
Oh, that's completely given away. And it's an equalizer.
In a word,
Chaos. Oh, it's a giveaway to Klaus, who clips it over Sestiego and scores a wonderful goal.
We're breaking down City SC on the opening drive in our weekly segment we like to call Controlled Chaos.
Brought to you by Keystone Event Staffing. Better people mean better events.
Gary Davis, Randy Carricker, the opening drive, 101 ESPN. We go to the celebrity line right now, and the sporting director for St. Louis City SC, our friend Lutz Pfannenstiel, joins us on the opening drive on 101 ESPN as SC gets ready to visit LA and take on LA Galaxy this weekend. Lutz, always good to have you with us. Thanks for your time. How are you doing this morning?
Not bad. What about you guys?
Everything's going very well here. Obviously, you guys on the heels of that disappointing loss to Sporting KC. What were your impressions as you reflected on that match on Saturday?
Yeah, tough loss. I mean, it's looking at the table, of course, everybody expects us to get something there, but looking at the squad, looking the way they played, I mean, they definitely not a team which should be that low. However, I don't want to make any excuses. We all hate to lose some games, and we didn't really defend that well in the box as we should have. And there was lots of little details, a lot of little calls which didn't go our way. In the end of the day, we still on top of the league, and you mentioned it, LA Galaxy, an important game coming up, and then another away game in Houston. So it's a tough run of games we have now. Nothing is easy anymore. But it's all up to us. In the end of the day, we're having a 6 points or 7 points lead now, and it's up to us to really pick up some points and stay on the sunny side of life.
Of course, I have to ask you about the fan support, the thousands of fans that showed up to the game this past weekend. I mean, what does that feel for you just to see the amount of people support going out to events like that in games and to really bolster that supporter section? It must feel good because it's just all the years behind the scenes you're seeing pay off.
Yeah, it wasn't just this one section. I think there was so much city red all over the stadium spread out. Yeah, absolutely amazing. I mean, couldn't really expect that, but that shows what great support we have. And, I really felt sorry for every single fan who drove all the way up there and then, coming back empty-handed, it hurts even more. So just the same feeling what we got when we came back here. So yeah, that's the bad thing about it. On the other side, of course, thank you to everybody who actually made that journey. And I always used to this word. I think I created myself, unconditional support. I think people usually say unconditional love. I use it as unconditional support. That's what we're feeling when we're playing at home and looking at the away games, which are doable for fans, like away to Chicago, but now especially against Kansas. I think, absolutely amazing. And I think that's probably the only team like that support in the MLS.
Lutz, City 2 has won 6 of their last 8 games. How important is it for those young players to continue to have success? And what do you look for in order for those guys to actually come up and be on the City team?
Yeah, I thought actually we didn't have the greatest of starts, but it had also to do with, I would call it, reward yourself, because they played already very good in the start of the season, but always, losing by 1 goal or going into penalties. Now, after having a bit of a knock when we played away to LA Galaxy, which was a terrible game, I think since then we are unbeaten, really playing well. And now the goals coming in, the individual performance is getting better. I think there's a big group of players which obviously has the potential to play in the first team as well. Sooner or later, there is lots of academy players which are our kids, the kids we picked up 1, 2, 3 years ago when I came, and they're still in the system. And I think it's just very important to have that under-23 team just below the professional team to grow as a professional and get ready for that moment. So, I'm actually a strong believer that the MLS Next Pro is a perfect league for MLS clubs to develop their own talent.
Lutz Pfannenstiel with us on 101 ESPN. He's a sporting director for St. Louis City SC. I'm continually impressed by the performance of Samuel Adeniran, and I want to know what you thought when you signed him. Did you think that you were getting what you've gotten out of Adeniran when you brought him here?
Yeah, I did. That's why we signed him. To be honest, it was not like just some signing, we need another striker. Let's just try to see what's on the market. Well, we looked at him for, I think we played against Tacoma in April or May, in March or April last year, when he still played for Tacoma, which was basically the second team of Seattle in the next pro. And that guy really ripped us apart in a certain moment. We still won the game, but I remember I really keep him on the tracker. And then he got loaned out to San Antonio. Coincidentally, one of my best friends who I played together with in Vancouver, Alan Marcina, is the head coach of San Antonio. So I had the best information I could get because I watched every game and I called Alan a lot. And that was very early we decided to go for Sam because I think he has something special. The speed, the strength, his physique, is one thing, but also sometimes the unexpected things, the way he finishes is another one. So, definitely I expected that he's capable of that. And after having a rocky start and I sent him back out on loan to San Antonio to get his confidence back, I mean, the moment he came back and knocked on the door, I think, he seems to be unstoppable, and I think that's a very important player at the moment for us to have.
Lutz, when you're evaluating players, like you said about Sam Adeniran, when you're looking at them, you obviously see the skill set, the talent, the speed, the size, the ability. How do you evaluate the mental aspect of the game? Are they willing to do all of the things? Are they going to be able to push through when things get hard? How do you evaluate that part of their game?
Yeah, I mean, you do see a lot, obviously, how the behavior is on the field, where you can get a lot of information about the mentality part. But, that comes also that you need to talk to the right people. You need to talk to people who know the player on a personal level. I mean, so I'm that kind of guy. I mean, I'm coming with a recruitment background. I literally want to know what they eat for breakfast, what movies they watch, how many girlfriends they have. I want to literally know everything. And if I know how his mother and his father think, and I know what kind of friends he have, and I know how he behaves, not on the pitch but off the pitch, then that gives me a clear indication if it's a kid which fits into our mentality or our I would call our DNA we have here at the club. And that's you're perfectly right. It's there is lots of good players out there, but not every player who is good actually fits into our ways of playing and into our kind of, I would call it, group behavior. And that's why we are really focused on that mental part, on that psychology part, or just simply the way a player is as a human being.
Hypothetically, if a player has 4 girlfriends, is that a good thing or a bad thing?
That's a very, very bad thing.
That's good to know. That's good to know. I think that's very very astute of you, Lutz. There's something else that I want to ask you about, kind of switching gears, but the U.S. men's national team is in town, and head coach Greg Berhalter, he had a quote yesterday that I think isn't controversial here, but of course it got some attention outside of St. Louis. He said, growing up in the United States, we've always viewed St. Louis as the soccer capital of the United States. Now, here, I don't think that's a controversial take because we know the rich history, and I know you do as well, but it seems like other people seem to be confused by that. But I know that you and I have spoken about this before, about the rich history here in St. Louis. What were your thoughts on his statement?
I know Greg very well, and I played against Greg a lot of times in Germany when he was still there. And, I think it's just coming into St. Louis, and I think Greg was here when we played against the Vancouver Whitecaps because his son plays for the Whitecaps. So I think he's very well aware, being an MLS coach before, what kind of special atmosphere we have here, not just in the stadium, but around the stadium, with the training facility, everything here in the center of the city. So, whatever people in the north, or I don't know if Kansas is in the north or not, think, for me, there is not a question that St. Louis is the real capital of soccer in the country. And that is the vibe and the feeling we get, and that's what we're working all together. And I think it's a pure kind of community feeling we created here. I mean, that feeling is here since a long time. That feeling is here since ages. But now with the MLS team in place and with all that games week in, week out, I think it just people feel it even more. And yeah, I think we are very proud to be called the soccer capital of the United States.
Hey, Lutz, before we let you go, aside from the challenge of just going out to the West Coast and playing LA Galaxy out there, what challenges does your team face this weekend?
Yeah, most importantly, don't look at the table because easily blindsided again. You know, LA Galaxy had a terrible start in the season. Nothing really went their way, but they at the moment, you're looking at the form table. They're one of the top teams actually in the country. The quality of players they have individually, it's not a question. So LA Galaxy is a team who can beat anybody. But when they were here, I think we also showed that we are capable of beating them. It's always difficult to go to LA, but I think we definitely will do our best. We know we're playing against a very technical team, a very skillful team. But we like to play against these kind of teams because we are somehow a team which likes to fight, a team which likes to play a very opposite style what they do. And they have a possession-based style. We have more very much on pressing transition-based style. So it's two football worlds somehow crashing or clashing. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to go to LA.
Thank you, sir. We always enjoy having you on the show. We do appreciate it. Go get them against LA, and we'll talk soon.
Thank you so much.
Take care. Lutz Pfannenstiel, he is the sporting director for Sporting KC, and what a magnificent job he's done.
Yes.
We didn't introduce him correctly. We got to do it better next time.
Oh, yeah, Lutz. Yeah, we'll do that.
Yeah, I like the 4 girlfriends thing. I think that's very important.
Yeah. He likes to know how many girlfriends they have. I think that's a good little bit of knowledge.
I would say 4 girlfriends is better than 1 wife and 1 girlfriend. That's just my opinion. In that case, 4 is obviously better than 2, right?
Well, as our late great friend Chris Duncan would say, you just want to know what the confidence level of the guy is.
It matters.
Yeah. Coming up, we've got The Fight on 101 ESPN.
This is Rocky with your Sports Center update, brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. The Cardinals yesterday with a big win over the Atlanta Braves, 10-6. Miles Michaelis with the start, 6 2/3 innings pitched. He allows 8 hits, 3 of them for home runs, but just 3 earned runs overall. The Cardinals also go yard plenty of times, 4 total across Tyler O'Neill, 2 from Nolan Gorman, and 1 from Jordan Walker. They combined for 7 RBI for the Cardinals, 10 runs. Cardinals back in action today, game 2, 7:20 first pitch. It'll be Dakota Hudson facing off against the righty for the Braves, Spencer Strider. Strider on the season, 16-4 with a 3.56 ERA. That is your Sports Center update, brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, an independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
Welcome back to the opening drive. I am Kerry Davis, joined by Brooke Grimsley, and it is time for the fight. We have a fighter in studio today. Kevin,
I'm ready again.
You're in studio. You're ready to take on Randy Carrico, so you get to peek behind the curtains and get to see exactly how this thing goes down.
Oh yeah.
Are you ready?
I'm ready as I'll ever be.
Okay, well, this is, people say that, and then Randy comes in, and you'll see him. He's going to have a Propel or a Mountain Dew. If he has a Mountain Dew,
or
good luck to you.
Yeah, banana sometimes.
Yeah, it's going to be a rough one.
Should have brought a wing for him. That might have changed.
That'll slowed him down. Now, yes, you're thinking.
And by the way, Kevin, can you explain why you're here and what you're promoting today?
Yeah, so I am with UCP Heartland. We are a non-for-profit organization here in St. Louis that supports children and adults with disabilities. And why I'm here today is we do a annual wingding event. It's our 13th annual wingding, and we support all the benefits go to our clients, and we have 13 competing restaurants. It's a lot of fun. It's at the factory. It's coming up on this coming Tuesday, actually. It's $30. All you can eat wings for $30, and love to see you guys there.
Oh, you might see me there.
Yes. CD, I went last year, and it was delicious.
I gotta take care of myself, but that might be a day I just say the heck with it. All right, Kevin, you ready?
Yep, I'm ready.
All right, here we go. The NFL record for pass touchdowns in a game is 7, but the record for a half is 6. Which current starting quarterback holds that record? Is it Matthew Stafford, Derek Carr, or Aaron Rodgers?
I'm going to go Aaron Rodgers.
All right.
I'm just going to go with my gut.
All right. Final answer. The last time the U.S. team won the Ryder Cup away from American soil was 1993. Which country was the tournament held that year? Which country was the tournament held that year? Was it Scotland, Spain, or England?
I'm going to go Scotland. I don't feel good about that.
All right. Which Hall of Fame running back has the most career touchdowns without recording a receiving touchdown? Is it Jerome Bettis, Earl Campbell, or Franco Harris?
Jerome Bettis. The bus.
Who is the last school to win the college football national championship without playing in their conference championship? Is it Georgia, LSU, or Alabama?
I'm going to go Alabama. They seem to always get in somehow, right?
All right. You got...
all right, we're going to double-check the score, and we will bring in Randy Carrico. I'm going to do it over there.
All right. Kevin, how do you feel?
All right. We'll say that.
Is it more nerve-wracking in person? Like, is this what you expected it to be?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I'm ready for...
Let's see what he has in his...
Megamind?
He's got a Propel.
I'm 2 for 2.
And a banana.
He's got a Propel, though.
Yeah, he does.
He's not a Mountain Dew.
No. You got a chance. If he had a Mountain Dew, you wouldn't have a chance. That's just how it goes around here. Randy, say hello to Kevin.
Kevin, good to see you, sir.
Good to see you, Randy. How are you?
Good. I'm excited about the wingding next Tuesday.
Yes.
I'm a judge.
Oh. What is going to be your criteria for a good wing?
Well, the one that tastes the best to me.
Is it taste, texture, the size of the wing, the amount of meat, the sauce or dry?
Sauce is of paramount importance.
Okay.
it's hard to. All of these restaurants have great wings.
Mm-hmm.
They're all going to be great. So yeah, it's taste and texture of.
So are you a judge that's going to taste the wing and then spit it out? Or are you going to?
No.
I'm a wing eater. So I'm in the traditional category, I believe.
Yep,
if I'm not mistaken.
correct.
So that's good.
All right. Here we go, Randy.
All right.
The NFL record for pass touchdowns in a game is 7, but the record for a half is 6. Which current starting quarterback holds that record?
I think Aaron Rodgers did that in a Sunday night game. I think the Packers killed somebody. Well, they would have if he had 6 touchdown passes at half. So I'm going to go with Aaron Rodgers.
All right. The last time the U.S. team won the Ryder Cup away from American soil was 1993. Which country was the tournament held in that year?
I will say that they did it in Scotland. I'm going to go with Scotland. Does that count as a country? Was that one of the choices? I'll go with Scotland.
we're not supposed to hell.
I can't.
Okay, UK.
Against any.
If I go,
it's against rules. Scotland. There you go. That's what he said.
Oh, we'll get texts in saying we were helping you, Randy.
Okay,
Which Hall of Fame running back has the most career touchdowns without recording a receiving touchdown?
Wow. Okay. Interesting. I'll do the old lifeline here.
Jerome Bettis, Errol Campbell, Franco Harris.
I'm going to go with Franco. I'm pretty sure Jerome Bettis had a receiving touchdown. Campbell, I know he caught passes. I don't know if he caught a touchdown pass, but the Steelers just did not throw the ball very much in that era. So I'll go with Franco just based on when he played.
All right. Who is the last school to win the College Football National Championship without playing in their conference championship?
Okay, pretty sure this would have been an SEC team, right? And when we had the controversy, and I don't remember if it was. I think Alabama got in. Was it LSU? Or was it LSU got in? It's one of those two. It's a coin flip for me. And would it have been the Les Miles LSU team? I don't think so. I think it was Alabama because they would have got in on perception alone. So I'm going to go with the chalk here because they've won so many championships, and go with the Alabama Crimson Tide in the year that that guy Cardale Jones was playing quarterback for, or maybe he won. I don't know. I'll go with Alabama.
I'm going to borrow this, Kevin. I'm going to give it back, though, because we have a tie.
All right, love tie.
Randy heard that when he said borrow it. So we have a tie today. The rules really quickly, Kevin, because I have it right here. I'm going to read out the tiebreaker question. Randy gets a moment to write down his answer. We will then let you answer it audibly, and then Randy will follow up with his answer, and then who's ever closest to the pin is going to be the winner of this fight. Do you understand those rules?
Yes, sir.
Randy, do you have paper?
Got paper? Got
Sharpie.
Yep.
I'm going to get this. We can just do this right here. Okay, here we go. The Jets are hoping Aaron Rodgers can help them end the longest active playoff drought in pro sports. How many seasons has it been since the Jets Jets played a postseason game? How many full seasons has it been since the Jets Jets have played a full postseason game? I guess actually, Randy Carricker, don't show just Carrie, I guess. This is tricky, actually.
Okay, I see it.
Okay, he's got it written down. He can't change it. Now, Kevin, what is your answer?
I don't know why, but 17 sticks out to me.
All right.
Okay. Would you like to show your answer now, Randy?
I shall.
Okay.
Yeah, my answer is 10 years.
All right.
Okay.
I have no idea.
The old Mark Sanchez, Rex Ryan stuff.
We have a winner in today's fight. Was the Wing Ding representative able to come in here and trounce Randy? If he wins, by the way, you get no wings. Or is Randy Carricker both going to be a winner today and a winner next Tuesday when he's stuffing his face with all those wings at Wing Ding? Ring that bell.
The winner and still champion of the fight, Randy Carricker.
The fight is presented by Golf Discount of St. Louis. With the most experienced club fitters in town. Why shop anywhere else?
He's being very mean right now, Kevin.
Kevin can't hear all of the sound effects. Yeah.
I don't get a chance to defend myself.
Extra mean, in my opinion. Kevin, unfortunately, the Jets have gone 12 seasons without playing in a playoff game, the longest active playoff drought in pro sports, thanks to the Sacramento Kings
That
finally making a
changes with
playoffs.
Aaron Rodgers.
We'll see if it does. So Randy with 10 is closest to the pin. He wins today's fight. Let's go through those answers really quickly. The NFL record for pass TDs in a game is 7, but the record for a half is 6, and it was, in fact, Aaron Rodgers in a Sunday night victory. The last time the U.S. won the Ryder Cup away from American soil was 1993. And again, with sports, the U.K. is 4 different countries. It is not just one. England is the correct answer the last time they won the Ryder Cup.
What are the 4 countries?
Oh, go ahead.
Which
4 countries?
Scotland, England. What are the other 2?
Wales,
Ireland.
And Northern Ireland is part of the UK.
Wales.
Randy, immaculate reception.
Which Hall of Fame running back has the most career touchdowns without recording or receiving TD?
That was in the playoffs.
This is regular season numbers.
Okay.
Franco Harris has 6. Jerome Bettis has 3. Earl Campbell, Goose Edge, has 76 total, the highest for a running back without a single receiving touchdown. And the last school to win the college football national championship without playing in their conference championship was, in fact, Alabama. It was Georgia and Auburn who played in the SEC championship game. Auburn and Alabama split the West championship, but Auburn, by nature of winning the Iron Bowl that year, went on to play in the SEC championship game, and then Alabama went on to win. Kevin, thank you so much for playing, but unfortunately, Randy Carricker wins.
And how can people get tickets for the Wingding next Tuesday?
So you can either go to UCP Heartland social media and go to our Facebook. We have an event page. You can go there, or you can go to www.ucpheartland/wingding, and you can buy your tickets. It's $30 for all you can eat. We have VIP tickets still available. They're slowly selling out, so make sure to get those VIP tickets. And we're very thankful for you guys, Randy, and very thankful for Tums being a sponsor this year again, being our title sponsor, and love for everyone to come out to the factory on Tuesday.
I will be there. I will have a lot of wings. I promise. I'll do great testing for you.
We're excited. We have 13 restaurants, a lot of from Chicken Out, Cyberg's, Joey B's, Felix's, a lot of great restaurants. So
Fantastic.
we're excited.
Great.
So thank you.
Thanks for stopping by.
Thank you guys. All right.
See you later. Kevin from
Good job, Kevin.
Yeah, from UCP Heartland and against UCPHeartland.com or org. UCPHeartland.org. Get involved with the Wingding next Tuesday night and have some great wings. Coming up, we've got our Birdwatch on 101 ESPN.
field to give you the latest on your St. Louis Cardinals. This is Bird Watch on the opening drive.
All right, time for some Bird Watch because the Cardinals did beat the Braves last night, 10-6. So the Cardinals get that going for them.
Yeah. Chala.
We got 25 games left.
No, Carrie.
They won.
I had an ally in my pessimism.
Listen, I'm still
What
there
happened
with
to you over the
brother.
last hour and a half?
I'm still there with you.
Okay.
Don't let it confuse you.
Who's the most pessimistic person at this station?
Oh, Matthew Rocchio.
Oh.
Hands
You think it's me?
down.
I think Ferrario's pretty.
I think no. You think Alex is?
Yeah.
I think BK is second.
But he has Alex has like the bright light of a family keeping him going.
Oh,
The bright light of a face.
Rock is number one. BK has Tanner is just he's nice. He's so kind. Yeah,
Is he T-Bone or Tan Man now?
Well,
Did they change his?
I think it's Tan Man.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah,
You haven't
that's
heard them
that's
say
his
that?
name. No, well,
He's Tan Man now.
What was the nickname they gave him? Was that the nickname? Tan Man?
It's been T-Bone forever.
Yeah, Tan Man.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tan
So
Man.
it can't be either of the afternoon guys or Marshy.
No,
So
because
I don't see Tan Man as negative at all. Actually,
is Jackson negative on certain topics? Rock is you, buddy. It's just you. You're in a class all your own.
Yeah. Okay.
You ever
It's okay.
have you been able to say that before about something? You're in a class all by yourself. You are number one.
Not in a good way.
This is not a good way.
It really hasn't been a good run.
You're by yourself, man.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right. So let's do a bird watch here.
Okay. My bird watch is going to be Jordan Walker, guys. We've been talking about him, obviously, because you should. If there's something that you are watching this season, the rest of the season for the Cardinals, to me, it's Jordan Walker, and to see his progression, because it's super exciting. And we saw last night, 15th home run of the season for Walker, 3-hit night for him. Last 7 games, 15 for 25, 4 home runs, 3 doubles, 9 RBI. And guys, this was a special occasion for him last night because he's from Georgia. He had his family in attendance, including Grandma Deary, which it just melted my heart. And I love family interviews. So this is what his parents had to say about being able to witness this moment with Jordan Walker.
There are no words. I would say I'm an English teacher. I'm at a loss for words. So, I mean, it's nothing that you can ever imagine. You just hope that all of your kids, you hope that your kids find a passion and that they do it at the highest level. And so there's just so much joy that that's exactly what he's doing.
Derek, I would imagine seeing him out there is one thing, but he also has an RBI double and a home run. That's pretty special. First time back here.
Absolutely. I think that's pretty special. I'll tell him why he didn't hit a home run the first time when I see him. But no, just joking. I am super, super excited. I couldn't imagine him actually playing on this field when he was a little kid coming out and watching the games. Just the thought that he's out there, he had already won just by stepping out the dugout in my mind. So anything else was gravy for me.
Oh, I
awesome.
love those interviews so much. And that was Jim Hayes, of course, doing the interview with his parents. And then they had Grandma Deary right beside. And he even said in his post-game comments to Jim Hayes that he looked up trying to find Grandma Deary and his parents up there. It's not hard to understand why Jordan Walker is such a mature young man and how he's really handling all this noise. His parents talked about that too, about how he's really able to kind of split up all this outside noise and not let it get to him too much and just kind of rise above all of it. And you're seeing that in him. He's so mature. His parents are fantastic. And I'm happy that Grandma Deary got to witness that.
He's a very grounded young man, well-rounded. He talked about his grandfather who passed away, who really got him into baseball and was the reason, kind of the catalyst to get him into baseball, saying he wishes he was here, but I'm sure he's watching and paying attention because that is a spectacular moment to be able to go home in front of your family, your friends, and have that type of performance. And he's been playing lights out, the last week and a half. It's been really fun to watch.
I wonder what the rest of baseball is thinking that he was the 20th pick in the draft. Right? But in that same draft, the guy who's pitching for Atlanta, Spencer Strider tonight, he was a fourth rounder.
Yeah.
So what a messed up draft the COVID draft was. But
so much talent in that draft.
Right. The organizations that really worked it got some really good players out of it.
You never know when you're drafting. You hope, you evaluate, but you're not able to really get inside someone's brain and understand how they handle adversity, how they're going to mature and grow in the game. It's all a crapshoot at times, and it's difficult. And hopefully you get a Spencer Strider or you get a Jordan Walker, and you can hit on those guys, and you can kind of pat yourself on the back and say, look what I did. Look what we were able to do.
Yeah.
So he's been really good for him. I'm going to go with Miles Michaelis. He got his first win last night in 9 starts. Much needed. Got off to a bit of a rocky start, giving up a home run and not. I think this Cardinals team, I think when we watch this team, if you give up a run in the first inning, we're tending to just kind of, here we go again. But was able to get some things corrected. 6 innings, 6 2/3 innings, 8 hits allowed, 3 earned runs. I'm sure if you were to ask Miles Michaelis, it probably has felt like, almost a year since his last victory. Though each start, it just piles on and piles on. So first win in a month and a half, really, to get him going in the right direction. Good for him. Good for the Cardinals. Hopefully, we're still trying to sort this pitching staff out for 2024. I think Miles Michaelis is going to continue to perform well at the level that he needs to and get back on the right track of things. So it was good for him to get that win last night.
Yeah, they need him. I mean, he's
much needed.
Yeah, he's your $20 million a year guy, so he's your number 2. So he's got to win more than once every 10 starts.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. Yeah, do you think that he felt like probably maybe a little bit more relaxed last night because they were actually able to? The offense was able to give him like a lead, and he's like, man, what is this?
What's going on here?
The other starting pitchers are in the dugout like, can you do that for me?
Seriously?
Right. Wow. Guys, we're going to get an opportunity to see Matthew Liberatore working out of the bullpen now. He only had 1 game down in Memphis, but it was not great. 3 2/3. He allows 5 runs on 4 hits. All of the runs were earned. And he walked a bunch of guys. He walked 5 and he struck out 5. But he needs to have better control, and he needs to be more consistent. If we can pick on one thing about Matthew Liberatore, we know that he's got a ton of talent, but he just needs to find his way with his control, especially if he's going to be working out of the bullpen. And I have a tendency to think that now, for this last month of the season, this is make or break time for Matthew Liberatore. He gets an opportunity. I'm sure they have already made their decision about Zach Thompson. And now Matthew Liberatore gets the opportunity, unfortunately for him, out of the bullpen to show what he's capable of. I really think this is a huge month for him.
Well, I don't even know if it's unfortunate because it's an opportunity to be on the roster. And he probably, I think Zach Thompson has worked his way in. I think Dakota Hudson has worked his way in. Miles Michaelis, we still got to see. Steven Matz is probably there because of the money that he's making. But Matthew Liberatore being in that bullpen, we understand the importance of the bullpen and how much they struggled this year and how they didn't have any flexibility to move people and move pieces up and down to keep those relievers fresh. So it's an opportunity to be in the bullpen and to be a middle reliever and to maybe work your way into the starting rotation if you perform well, similar to what Matz did when he had to go to the bullpen. It's an opportunity. You have to take care of your business, or you won't have any business to take care of if you're not performing well. So hopefully this is a situation where he gets right, he's back healthy, and he can perform at the level that we need him to for the rest of this season and going into 2024.
Yeah, and you never know, as you mentioned there with Steven Matz, the Steven Matz, if we're going on the injured list, if you can have that Steven Matz moving forward, I think that would be fantastic, and hopefully he'll be able to do that. And with Matthew Liberatore, this is not great right now with what's happening with him, but maybe in the future he can, maybe provide some length for this team in the bullpen, and you need bullpen pieces for next season. We've talked about that so much. You need some bullpen pieces.
And we also have to keep in mind, because we are a microwave society, he turns 24 in November. Matthew Liberatore does. He's a very young man.
Still young,
so
yes.
You'd hate to see him go somewhere. Left-handed pitchers take some time. You'd hate to see him go somewhere and turn into a star there.
You got Zach Thompson watching Clayton Kershaw. Who should Liberatore be watching? The big unit?
I think old Andrew Miller.
I was going to say, this is it's starting to come more and more
Old
into
Andrew
fruition.
Miller, like not the old Andrew Miller.
No,
but
but good deal. The 2016 Andrew Miller.
With the Indians. No,
The Indians at the time, yeah. All right, that is our Birdwatch here on 101 ESPN. Coming up, the rush hour reset. The Cardinals are going to win the World Series. We'll tell you why next on 101 ESPN.
Need to update your furniture? Menards is your one-stop shop with all of the latest furniture styles at the lowest prices. Plus a great selection in stock, ready to take home today. So go ahead, relax in a recliner, get cozy in a love seat, or simply unwind with a comfy sofa. Need more seats? We've got sectionals too. Get 11% off your new furniture set now at Menards. Good through September 10th. Savings are a mail-in rebate. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Save big money at Menards.
Hey, folks, if you're thinking about upgrading your home with a great outdoor project, I want you to get in touch with my friends at Chesterfield Fence and Deck. We had our fence installed by Chesterfield Fence and Deck a long time ago because we have dogs and we needed to keep them within the confines of the yard. And Chesterfield Fence and Deck offered a really wonderful white privacy fence, a vinyl fence that they said it would be a lifetime product. And I'll tell you what, more than a quarter century later, it still is the same. And it has been a lifetime quality product from Chesterfield Fence and Deck. So if you're in the market for a fence or a deck or a sunroom, custom screen room, get in touch with Chesterfield Fence and Deck on the phone at 800-300-4054 or on the web at chesterfieldfence.com. Chesterfield Fence and Deck is A-plus rated by the Better Business Bureau. They have a 5-year labor warranty on everything they do, plus numerous warranties on the products as well. And the people that you're going to work with are the best. There's a reason they've been in business for 55 years. It's because they're really good people who do really good work at Chesterfield Fence and Deck. Again, the number 800-300-4054, chesterfieldfence.com. Chesterfield Fence and Deck, the sign you have the very best.
Stoltz back with you for Auto Center's Nissan Herculaneum. They have over 700 new and used vehicles combined in one location. That's right. The St. Louis region's #1 stop for colossal car buying destination. It's Auto Center's Nissan and Used Super Center. Again, 700 vehicles, new and pre-owned, that you can select. You can drive off the lot and feel great about it because they've got financing for everyone. They give you the 30-day return as well. It's a guarantee on new Nissan. They're so confident you're going to love your new car. They're going to give you 30 days to bring it back. No one else does this. The discounts and deals are back. Thousands of dollars in savings on new and used cars, plus no payments for 3 months, new and used. No down payments, new and used, and rates as low as 0% APR. Select models available. Your choice, biggest discounts. It's Auto Center's Nissan Herculaneum. Go visit them. Brand new spot out in Herculaneum. And don't forget, tell them Stalter sent you.
HD1 East St. Louis, 101 ESPN. This is the opening drive on 101 ESPN. Brought to you by Sumner One. We're recapping the biggest sports stories of the day on the opening drive with a rush hour reset.
Your St. Louis Cardinals with a big 10-6 win over the Braves last night in Atlanta. Braves have the best record in the National League. And if you beat the team with the best record in the National League, what's that make you?
Best team in the National League.
Thank you.
See what you did there?
No. What, can you tell me the records of these two teams?
The Cardinals are 60 and 78.
Okay.
The Braves are 90 and 47.
We're right
I feel like
there.
there's a difference.
What's
I feel like there's a difference.
What have you done for me lately?
Oh.
There you go.
Is that what this is? If only it worked that way, huh?
That'd be nice. But here's the thing. The Braves are great right now. The Cardinals have a great future because of one J-Dub.
That's loud and hit to center. Harris on the run, still going. That ball is gone. 15th home run for Walker. The Cardinals have hit 3 of them so far.
Here's what we got to know. Tra-la, tra-la.
Tra-la, tra-la.
Tra-la, tra-la. Jordan Walker grew up in Atlanta and pretty excited about being able to go in and beat the Braves.
Oh, it's amazing, man. I grew up, coming to games here, watching games here. So finally getting the opportunity to play, let alone, win a game here, man, it feels really tremendous.
Good for him and good for the Cardinals.
Yeah, I would say so. I mean,
Really
with
good.
Jordan Walker, what he's been doing, especially lately, you're just seeing him really become a lot more confident in his abilities and more comfortable here at the major league level. I mean, we talked about it earlier in the last segment with the Birdwatch, but in his last 7 games, he's gone 15 of 25 with 4 home runs and 9 RBIs. And I think that he just continues to grow and get more comfortable, especially defensively and offensively. He's getting around what you hope that he would be able to do.
He is spectacular. You're watching him at the plate. You're watching him grow as a fielder. You're seeing him make throws, make plays out in the field, sliding, diving for catches. It's really all coming together for him. And it's fun to be able to watch it in real time. It's just his approach at the plate has been really good. He hasn't been falling to one knee, trying to lift the ball in the air. It was kind of it reminds. What if I told you one of my favorite movies is Major League? Willie Mays Hayes was trying to knock the ball out of the park, falling to a knee and popping it straight up. And so that he was practicing launch angle way back then, and they hit the ball on the ground and run. Jordan Walker is driving the ball into all fields, driving it to deep center field. His last couple of home runs have been really fun to watch. And again, you're watching the maturation of a really good athlete learning how to play the game, and it's fun to watch.
Tonight, the Cardinals will face Spencer Strider. He is 16-4 with a 3.56 earned run average. He is averaging a league high 13.8 strikeouts per 9 innings. Over under Spencer Strider strikeouts tonight, 13.
Oh, man.
Under.
Okay.
No,
13 strikeouts.
know. I feel like sometimes with the offense, and this is the only thing I'm going to say, I feel like with the Cardinals offense sometimes, and when they have a big game like last night, I don't know if you always get the same follow-up performance.
That stinks. So you're saying it's going to be over then?
Let's see.
Maybe right at that.
Come on. 13 strikeouts. They're going to score 1 run.
So last year, he had a 12 strikeout game against the Cardinals there. And then
10. How about 10 for tonight?
Okay, so you're going to go under?
I'm going under.
Yeah.
You said 13 and a half?
13's
I'm going, I'll go 12 and a half.
Okay, I'm still going under.
I'm going to say 10, so I'm going to do under.
I give him 7 or 8.
The game here, he only had 7.
See, there you go.
So,
Only?
yeah, but
How many punch-outs did Michaelis have last night? Like 2?
Yeah.
And like 8 roundouts?
Spencer Strider, John Mosaic is saying, I want one of those.
Yeah, that's.
Where do you find one of those?
Yeah.
How much does that cost?
Way more than you're willing to spend, buddy.
Yep.
Develop.
Right.
Yes.
We have the opener of the NFL season tomorrow night here on 101 ESPN. Chiefs and Lions. On Monday, Travis Kelce had to leave the Chiefs practice with what was feared to be an ACL injury. Now they're saying that the ACL is intact, but Chiefs head coach Andy Reid, what about Kelce's status for tomorrow?
No, they're looking at it now. So I just see how it goes.
He doesn't have any idea. The question was, any idea about Kelce's status? He said no, but it would seem to be better safe than sorry in game 1 of 17.
You want to know how much of a business football is? I'll tell you all. For those that don't know, when a player gets injured, Doesn't matter who that player is. Only time I've ever heard of a player getting injured in practice that they stopped the practice was Teddy Bridgewater when he tore his knee up in the manner in which he did. When people get injured on a football field, the trainer comes out, coach goes over, takes a look at him, and then they say, hey, move the drill down 20 yards. Literally.
Wow.
It's he's hurt. Ain't nothing we can do about it. We got to finish this dang on practice. Move the drill down 20 yards. We'll finish our drill with him behind us. That is, and it's the nature of the business. That's why it's so important to not get injured, to stay healthy. And if you are injured in Travis Kelce's situation right now, you got to be healthy, completely healthy before you come back out there. I don't think he'll play tomorrow. Whether it's a knee, a hyperextended knee, or maybe, hopefully, nothing worse than that. They say the ACL is intact, but you got a lot of other ligaments in there, LCL, PCL, MCL, that could be, damaged. So hopefully all of that is intact. Everything is okay. Probably a little swelling, but he'll be back to normal here in about 7 to 10 days playing week 2. But that's the nature of the business. I mean, he got if you listen to that whole cut, he talks about the injury to Kelce, and we had a good practice today. That's the next statement out of his mouth. It's like, yeah, it's football, man. People get hurt all the time. We got to keep going because guess who doesn't care that Travis Kelce is hurt?
Detroit.
The Detroit Lions.
And you know what? If he does play tomorrow, they're going to be biting his kneecap.
They literally trying to through the face mask.
That's what I'm saying. I think that you're right, CD. The best option that they should do is not play him. And I'm sure he wants to. He wants to play. You've been in those situations. You want to play. But when you're looking at long-term for the rest of the season, you know how essential Travis Kelce is to this offense and to Patrick Mahomes' success. You need him for the rest of the season.
We need to get Mel Gray on the show sometime. One time against Dallas, he limped off the field really bad and missed a play and then limped back into the huddle and then took off on a go-route. 75 yards later, touchdown. He was fine.
Look, gamesmanship.
Yeah, I think that's what the
like
Chiefs
that
might
tactic.
be doing. Yeah, it's pretty cool. That is your Rush Hour Reset on 101 ESPN. Next up, should the Cardinals go full youth movement, or is re-signing Paul Goldschmidt going into his age 37 season the best way to return to a winning plan? That's next on 101 ESPN. Okay, so we get to the 2025 baseball season. Actually, we get to the end of next season. Paul Goldschmidt is a pending free agent, okay? And let's just presume that he has the exact same year that he's going to have this year, okay? And it has not been what last year was, where he won the MVP. Goldy this year, a very representative 817 OPS, 22 homers, 71 RBIs. So let's figure that Goldy for the year hits 26, drives in 85. Does the same thing next year with the same OPS of 817.
Okay.
But after next year, you know that you're going to have a new center fielder, right? You know that Jordan Walker is going to be in the outfield. You're probably going to have Tommy Edman somewhere in the outfield. So Victor Scott, Tommy Edman, Jordan Walker, you're going to have Winn on the infield. Maybe you move Edman back. The question being, if you have, and you're going to have Newt, all right? Mm-hmm. The question being, do you move Jordan Walker into first base after next year and let Goldy walk and go youth movement? Or do you bring Goldy back and try to have that leadership and production and accomplishment on your roster?
I think it depends on what the season looks like next year. He'll be 37 after the 2024 season. And so does it make sense for the Cardinals to sign him to a 2 to 3 year deal? Because you don't know. It really depends on what he looks like next season. And which is part of the reason why I was saying you want highest value or best value for him. It would have been this past trade deadline, but they were unwilling to make that deal. They didn't feel like that was the move because that would really be a sign that you're selling and really building for the future.
And I didn't see a contender that was really in the market for a premier first baseman.
Well, I mean, DH first baseman, I'm sure a former MVP, just a year removed from that, someone would have put some money towards that or put some picks or something that the Cardinals could have got back in return. But they weren't willing to do that, and you have to understand that. But after the 2024 season, it really just depends on his level of play and what you're willing to spend on him and who you have to replace him. If you still have Nolan Gorman on the roster, maybe he's your first baseman. Maybe that's a position he can slide to, and now you don't have as many issues in the infield. You can play Brendan Donovan there. You can play Tommy Edman there. It just depends on how next season goes and what the Cardinals are truly trying to get out of it. But I think next year is an important year for Paul Goldschmidt in terms of his opportunity to win a championship here in St. Louis.
I think it's tough because the youth movement, I think, is very important. We're already starting to usher that in with Jordan Walker, with Mason Winn, with Nolan Gorman, and Nolan Gorman making strides this season. And so it'll be interesting to see what Walker and Mason Winn do this offseason and what strides that they'll make going into next year. I think it's so important that they've gotten them this playing time. And then you're going to add Tink Henson to that conversation possibly next season. And then Victor Scott into that conversation next season too. And my thing is, though, that you need to have that nice balance. You have to have that veteran presence while ushering in this new youth movement because it's important. But playing devil's advocate on the other side of it, something that does concern me a little bit is September numbers. Especially if you look at last season and even going into now September. But I'm saying if you look at this past August for Paul Goldschmidt, you're starting to see kind of that steady decline when in the second half of the season with Paul Goldschmidt. That's something that concerns me because what happened in the postseason last year? By the time we got to the postseason last year, Nolan Arenado and Paul Goldschmidt weren't doing what you needed from them. And that is a little bit of a concern for me. I think Arenado obviously has a little bit more time. Paul Goldschmidt, I worry about that decline that you're starting to see. And that comes with age. Like, nobody can beat Father Time. Nobody can.
Father Time is undefeated, Brooke.
Yes.
So then the question becomes, presuming you allow Goldy just to walk. And by the way, I think when the Cardinals signed him to the 5-year contract, I think that was the plan. We'll keep him till his age 37 season, and then he'll walk. You have incredible athleticism and might have gold quality athleticism in Jordan Walker in right field. So do you go with Walker to first base? If Gorman is still around, your choice is obvious because Gorman can play first.
Right.
Does Wilson Contreras become an option at first base?
That could be a move as well. I personally, just based on what the frustrating part of me that I was receiving when people were talking so much about Jordan Walker and how he couldn't play right field. He's still learning the position, and you see how well he can play it. I don't think you'd put that athleticism at first base. I think you allow him to continue to grow in right field.
I agree with you.
And allow him to be who he's going to be, strong arm. You won't even get to see the arm if he's at first base. So keep him in right field. If Nolan Gorman is on the roster, he can be your first baseman if Paul Goldschmidt isn't here. And you have opportunities. I mean, Wilson Contreras is another guy that you could put there as also. So I don't want to see Luke and Baker if he's hitting the ball well, because he's going to have to hit. He's hitting in minor leagues, but he hasn't hit as well here. But I definitely – I don't want to see Paul Goldschmidt leave, but I think fans need to be realistic about it, and the Cardinals organization needs to be realistic about it. A 37, going to be 38-year-old that didn't perform well the previous year, if he doesn't in 2024, you have to look at your options.
And as much as I love Goldy, I learned my lesson, if I'm the Cardinals, from extending Matt Carpenter. Love the guy, but you, like Brooke said, Father Time is undefeated, and as good as he might be next year, he's way closer to falling off the cliff than he is right now. So I would not, and again, this is not an affront to Paul Goldschmidt. It's the fact that he's going to be a 37-year-old athlete. And I think the Cardinals need to be looking towards the future, and that's why I would go youth movement too.
I think it is. Yeah.
And the logical guy, the Cardinals don't have a first baseman among their top 30 prospects. So the logical move would be Contreras or Gorman, if Gorman is still here.
Yes. And to even go with what I was saying earlier about, having the veterans around, having some of that veteran presence around, of course, is still important. But then I think about this season, how things happen, even having Nolan Arenado and Paul Goldschmidt here. And I know that Adam Wainwright talked to us about how frustrating that was and how him and Paul Goldschmidt texted back and forth trying to rack their brains and figure out, how did we get this point? How did we let this happen in our watch? I think that is also another concerning factor in this, is that this still was able to happen this season when you were ushering in some new players, because they talked about it. You heard Nolan say that. Nolan mentioned the youth. We've heard Ali Marmol mention that as well, about the youth and that being a factor in some of the kind of growing pains that we have seen this season with the Cardinals, and maybe lack of success at times. And so then you also wonder how much that veteran presence actually maybe helps in this situation, and if it actually is paying off.
Coming up next on 101 ESPN, which teams are most likely to be underachievers and overachievers this year in the National Football League? That's coming your way next on 101 ESPN. Hey, I want you to consider this. If you're considering selling your home, I need you to get in touch with Gloria Liu with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Her number is 314-325-6888, 314-325-6888, or you can check out what she does on the web at gloriahasthebuyers.com. But the key is that she already has the buyers. She's able to guarantee the sale of your home in writing because Gloria has the buyers, thousands of them, from an over 20-year database that she has exclusively. Buyers that are looking to buy in your neighborhood and in your price range. That's how Gloria nets you the most money and creates the highest demand, many times with multiple offers, which means more money in your pocket. Gloria is going to sell for more and sell faster when compared to your average agent. Gloria Liu is not your average agent. She's St. Louis local real estate authority with 20 years of experience, hundreds of homes sold in just the past 12 months alone, and the only agent I'd trust to sell my home is Gloria Liu. 314-325-6888. Visit gloriahasthebuyers.com.
This is Rocky with your Sports Center update, driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. The Cardinals with a win over the Braves last night, 10-6. They got 7 of those 10 runs from a combination of Tyler O'Neill, Nolan Gorman, and Jordan Walker. They all homered, Gorman twice, and again, the Cardinals with a big 10-6 win over the Braves. They'll try to start this series with 2 straight wins. What a concept. And the 6:20 first pitch will be Dakota Hudson facing off against the righty for the Braves, Spencer Strider. That is your Sports Center update, driven by Johnny Londoff. Find your roads and shop 24/7 at Londoff.com and LondoffAutoplex.com. Are you kidding me?
We invite you to watch us every day on YouTube. All you need to do is go to youtube.com and then go to 101 ESPN STL. And so people complain when
show us your face.
when Brooke's computer screen is not completely showing her face. People actually get upset about
What's
this.
your face? We want to see your face. Who said that? You want to see my face?
I don't know why.
So I have, with great intention, moved my little camera so that you can't see my face. Brooke, guess how many people have complained about not being able to see my face?
How many?
We're over.
They don't care about us in that manner, right?
I don't think they do.
I don't think so. We're just here.
Yeah.
You know.
I'm just going to hide behind the screen.
We can't see your face, Brooke.
You can't see all my wonderful facial expressions. I do have a very expressive face, so maybe that's what it is.
Yeah, they want to know what you're thinking.
They want to know what you're thinking. There you go.
I want to know what they're thinking.
All right, so you know what they're thinking.
I didn't realize until just now just
That was
how
good.
little of Randy has been in the frame for the last segment.
I didn't even get to see it.
It's so low. Nobody said anything.
Who cares? So I even put up on the thing, why is anyone complaining about not being able to see my entire face?
And then they just go on to time out. Anyways, Nolan Gorman.
Anyway, until somebody puts it up on the YouTube, I'm going to keep my camera where it is.
Charles Hutchins says he's upset he can't see Randy.
Oh, there you go.
Thanks, Charles. There we go.
You have set him free,
I'm back.
Charles.
I'm back, baby. Okay, so let's take an over-under. Which teams are most likely to underachieve this year? For overachieving, who do we have among the Vikings, Bears, Jags, and Steelers? The Vikings plus 1,200 to win the NFC. The Bears plus 3,000 to win the NFC. And by the way, plus 430 to win the NFC North. The Jags plus 1,500 to win the AFC, and the Steelers plus 2,500 to win the AFC, and plus 470 to win the AFC North. Which of those four is most likely to overachieve?
Man, I think overachieve-wise, I might have to go with the Bears on this one. Maybe. Just because I think Justin Fields is very intriguing, and I think the Bears have made some improvements. I was thinking the Vikings, because I think that would be the obvious choice. But I don't know. I don't know if I'm like fully sold on the Vikings continuing to take that next step.
I think that NFC North is going to be a little bit tougher than I think the Vikings take a step back because of all of the close wins they had last year. I think they had like 10 or 11 one possession wins.
A bad defense.
And weren't really good. I'll see how I'm intrigued to see how they adapt and they adjust. That NFC North, I think the Packers are going to be much better than people assume they will be because of Jordan Love. And I'm probably going to be a homer here, but if I'm going to pick a team that I think is underrated and has a chance to overachieve, it's going to be the Pittsburgh Steelers. They are a team that, despite how good Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals have been, despite how good we expect the Baltimore Ravens with Lamar Jackson to be, the Pittsburgh Steelers have one of the best defenses in the league. And Kenny Pickett is a young player in his second year who is going to take a step forward. George Pickens did a fantastic job last season and has continued to do a fantastic job all of training camp and in preseason games. They are a team that if Matt Canada decides to open things up and not just run drag routes and under routes and actually throw some digs and things over the middle, 10 yards deep, they could be a really good football team. So I may go place may go over Illinois and see about that
Pittsburgh,
470 for the AFC North for sure.
I know they're all very interesting. I think Steelers, Mike Tomlin's always the difference maker. I think that's always a good choice to bet on him. The Jaguars also on this list. I just want to say that's intriguing. If we're picking people who you think might overachieve expectations, Trevor Lawrence is very interesting. The way that they have really set things up for his progression, he keeps getting better and better. And you guys know I always make fun of the AFC South. It's always ready for the Pickens.
You lived it.
Right? We live it every single season, Randy. It's absolutely painful. And
I was going to say, how does that feel?
It's very painful.
Okay.
It's very, very painful. But it seems like the Jags are actually making
15 and 65.
Oh, well,
yeah.
I mean, you lived through that.
Yeah.
If you make it through that, Randy, you can make it through anything.
Yeah.
So, but I like the Jags a lot. I think that Trevor Lawrence is one of those guys where he's the kind of quarterback, and I know the ESPN focuses in and they think that it's one-on-one. It's a quarterback versus quarterback. That's not the way it is. But Trevor Lawrence is one of those guys that with him at the helm, under center, you have a 50% chance to win the game because he's on your team. But you've got a Super Bowl champion coach. You've added Calvin Ridley to a pretty good array. They've got a really good array of offensive talent. Their defense is representative. I think they're in a really good spot. Now, here's the thing that's not great about their schedule. They open with the Colts at Indianapolis. Okay, that should be a win. Then you've got the Chiefs. Then you've got the Texans and the Falcons before you play the Bills, the Colts again. So you're already done with the Colts by week 6. Then you go to New Orleans. You go to Pittsburgh. You've got San Francisco at home. You've got the Titans at home. That's always a tough battle. You go to Houston. I think Houston will be much better by that time. You get the Bengals at home. You got to go to Cleveland. You've got the Ravens at home, so you've got the AFC North. Then you go to Tampa. You've got Carolina at home, and you wrap up at Tennessee. But playing that first place schedule and playing the AFC North is brutal.
Yeah, that sounds like a very tough schedule for them.
I think, and with all these teams too, I think it's going to be like, it could go one way or the other. Like even with the Bears, and that's why I just chose them, because I think that maybe a lot of people don't have high expectations. They could have 10 wins this season, or it could go like the other way where they have 6. I mean, there's no telling. Same thing with the Vikings. I don't know where their season goes if they're able to repeat what they did last year. I think that would be really hard to do, like you were saying, CD, but I don't know where they go in progression.
So teams to underachieve: Chiefs plus 350 to win the AFC, Bills plus 450 to finish second in the AFC, Cowboys plus 600 to win the NFC, Lions plus 800. The team that just sticks out to me clearly here is Buffalo with their lack of depth. They don't really have a running game. They didn't address their running game issues during the offseason. They have Diggs, but then Gabe Davis leaves a lot to be desired. I know their tight end situation is okay, but not great. They're going to miss Von Miller for at least the first 4 weeks. And Von Miller, usually when he gets hurt, he's hurt for the whole year. So they're missing the pass rusher. You don't know if White at quarterback is going to be 100% again. So I think the Bills have just so many question marks across their roster that it's really going to be tough. The Cowboys have the best defensive player in the league right now in Micah Parsons. I hate the Cowboys, but I'm not going to disparage what he is. He's really, really good. The Chiefs are just the Chiefs. And then I think the Lions, I know you like Green Bay in the AFC North, but I think the Lions will be right there in the hunt. I actually could see a really wild race for the AFC or the NFC North.
I think the Lions are a team to keep an eye on. Their offensive line is really good. I'm intrigued to see what Jahmyr Gibbs does. They drafted him early in the first round, an electrifying athlete that I think they're going to get involved. I think he's an upgrade from what DeAndre Swift was, what they expected him to be, and what Jahmyr Gibbs is going to be. Getting him involved in the passing game and the running game, a very skillful athlete that can get the ball in space and make things happen. But if you would have asked me this question yesterday at this time, there's no way I would have said the Chiefs. But now with the injury to Travis Kelce, and not knowing the length of the injury, not knowing how bad that injury is, I think that's a team that could potentially. Who do they have to throw the ball to? Kadarius Toney again. You don't know if he's going to be able to play. You got Marquez Valdez-Scantling. Maybe he catches the ball. Maybe he doesn't.
He's a guy.
You got Sky Moore, who they drafted last year, and
Noah
Rashee
Gray,
Rice, who they drafted this year. I don't know if any of those guys. Everyone thought when Tyreek Hill left that the Chiefs were in trouble, not understanding that Travis Kelce has been their number one receiver. And now that Travis Kelce is down, if Patrick Mahomes can make magic happen with this crew of guys and Travis Kelce is out for an extended period of time, then, give him another MVP right then.
That's what I was going to say. I mean, what does this say about Patrick Mahomes? Just saying worst case scenario with Travis Kelce this season, it's more than one game that he possibly needs to sit out. What will that say about Patrick Mahomes if he's able to make it work with a Sky Moore and Noah Gray?
Best ever.
This says
and
a
Blake
lot.
Bell, former quarterback at Oklahoma.
Bulldozer, the Belldozer, what they call him.
Yeah.
Belldozer.
It's going to be really interesting to see tomorrow night what they're able to do against a very hungry Detroit team, what Kansas City's able to do without Kelce, presumably, against the Lions. Coming up next, we're going to head down the stretch with Rocc and Roll, and we've got tickets to give away here on 101 ESPN. Hey, I have a hump day lunch idea for you. It's the Fenton Bar and Grill in Fenton on Rudder Road. And all you need to do is go to the soccer park and follow Rudder Road to the Fenton Bar and Grill, and you will have absolutely delicious food. Start off with their trashed wings. They're the best wings you'll ever have. Get them with their signature golden sauce, and it is unbelievable. And then you can get, if you'd like, a trashed chicken sandwich with their chicken tenders trashed. And that is absolutely delicious and spectacular, and you'll love it. And Alicia will be working today along with the whole gang. Kelly and Megan and Colleen and Jamie will all be working, and they'll provide you great service. They're friendly people. You'll love having your lunch at Fenton Bar and Grill, whether it's a business lunch or you just want to get together with the fellas or the gals. And if you want to have dinner there, take advantage of the great people and the great food and the great sports at Fenton Bar and Grill. Learn about them and check out their menu at FentonBarandGrill.com. And when you stop by, tell them Randy sent you. It's delicious, exquisite, and fun. You'll have a great time at the Fenton Bar and Grill.
I want to rock! And roll.
Let's rock. Let's rock today.
We got a balloon party coming up with T-Mac and Ajax, followed by BK and Ferrario. They'll be in here from 11 to 2, and then the Fast Lane from 2 to 6 this afternoon. And don't forget, you can join 101 ESPN and Bud Light for Blues and Brews on Friday night, September 22nd at the Anheuser-Busch Brewery. Get fired up for the blues season at this outdoor street party featuring live music from country music star Chris Lane and local blues musician Marquise Knox, plus appearances by blues players and alumni, food trucks, blues merch, 101 ESPN giveaways, and more. Tickets on sale now. Visit 101ESPN.com for additional event details and to purchase your tickets for Blues and Brews on September 22nd. Also got tickets for Guns N' Roses. They're coming to town. Did you know that, guys?
Yes.
They're coming to come to town to Busch Stadium, and 101 ESPN is your chance to score a pair of tickets to Guns N' Roses with special guest The Pretenders on Saturday night at Busch. Tickets for the show on sale now, and you can get 4 select tickets for just $90. Find a bonus chance to win your tickets at 101ESPN.com or on your 101 mobile app. But you can go to Cardinals.com to buy tickets, or you can just play the contest. And you can get your tickets for Guns N' Roses right now by texting in 314-399-9646, 314-399.
Yo-ho!
And how are we going to win tickets today there, Matthew?
Today's going to be a trivia question. Tomorrow we're going to be diving into our game head first, by the way. So you guys study complete minutia. You just have to know everything.
The game is called Head First?
You guys just, yes. No, that's not
just have to know everything.
It's actually called Grab Bag Giveaway if you want a name for it.
Grab Bag Giveaway.
You happy for it? You want a name? I have a name.
All righty.
Study up on your state capitals.
Oh.
Also your South American geography.
Okay, what do we got?
Oh.
Okay, but for today's trivia question, it's simple.
Good.
What was the last NFL regular season in which the Packers' leading passer was not an eventual Hall of Famer? What was the last NFL season in which the Packers' leading passer was not an eventual Hall of Famer?
Oh, I can give you that. I think.
Off the top of your head.
I think.
Well, wait, give him a minute to text in, and then we'll go to it. How about that, Gary?
All right.
You can flex all over the people like your Mega Mind.
I think I know.
Also, by the way, don't get cocky today when it comes to trivia, Carrie, because on Friday, it's going to be your Mega Mind.
Oh, let's go.
Oh, yeah. I'm not here on Friday.
I'm not here on Friday. You know that. You're looking forward to it.
I kind of am.
Yeah, I'm sure.
You got an extension on Friday? You going to be at the Ascension?
I will head over there later in the day, but I'm playing in a Cardinal-10 Children's Hospital tournament to raise money for their music therapy program.
That's nice.
Yeah.
For you, Randy. You're a man of the people.
Trying to help out.
Yes.
By the way, thanks to Nick Ragone yesterday. He had me out at the Pro-Am at the Ascension Charity Classic, and I got a chance to play with Nick and Pat Britt, who's one of the great players over at Norwood, and Mel Rucker, and our pro was Paul Stankowski. Couldn't have had a nicer guy, even though he's a Cowboy fan. But Paul Stankowski was great to play with, had a great time with him. And thanks to Nick Ragone and everything and everybody over at the Classic, the Ascension Charity Classic is fantastic.
Did you ask him how he feels about his Cowboys this season?
Yeah, I just gave him the best stat in the world, that St. Louis has a more recent NFC Championship game and Super Bowl than Dallas does.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that stat.
Yeah.
Yes.
I
didn't even have to ask.
Now that you're bringing that up, I do want to mention Jerry Jones yesterday was quoted as saying that Dak Prescott will be with the Cowboys, quote unquote, a long time. So I have to ask, do you think the Cowboys fan that you're friends with, do you think Stankowski would be happy with that statement, or would it bring him anxiety and trepidation?
Probably anxiety and trepidation. The guy had 15 picks last year. Now, here's the question. Who's longer with the Cowboys? Dak Prescott or Jerry Jones?
Did you?
Wow. No, wow.
That's a very good question. Did you see that Jerry Jones, when they were asking him about the criticism of not telling anyone about the Trey Lance signing?
I saw that,
the
yes.
trading. He said, I'm the owner and GM. I don't got to consult with anybody.
Yeah.
Hey, this is my team.
That's true. He's not wrong.
I don't have to talk to anyone.
Again,
he does like
says
to
that.
flex that every once in a while.
He says that, but he knows we all read the story that it was reported that his son manhandled him to not draft Johnny Manziel. Like, we know for a fact that you might be the GM, but if your son's going to physically stop you from putting the card in, maybe you don't have all the power.
That worked
Best
out.
decision by his son.
Yeah,
ever.
that worked out.
Gave him some. He earned some credit with that one.
Not blaming the son.
Son, you know what? When you're right, you're right.
My point is that maybe Jerry should keep giving a little bit more.
That man said he is the owner and GM. He don't have to consult with anybody.
All right, fair enough. Let's talk about something good news. Congratulations to Jackson Holliday, who continues to move up in the A system. He got called up and went 1 for 4 with a walk in a double. Again, just continues to climb the ranks. So congratulations to Jackson Holliday. And the American Gaming Association just put out these numbers, and this is absolutely incredible. They expect a 57.7% growth in gambling on the football season. They expect the number to jump to 28% of Americans, 73.5 million Americans. 1 in 4 Americans are going to do some kind of sports gambling in the year 2023 during the football season. I'm honestly kind of shocked it's that low.
Imagine if you could place bets in Missouri.
Ooh.
You can't.
You can't?
Oh, well, you know what I mean.
I was going to make the joke. I was like, 73 million Americans and none of them are Missourians. Then I was like, well, that's not true in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
Yes.
Here's the thing. You can go to Kansas.
You can.
You can go to Illinois.
You can.
Can you go to Arkansas?
Kansas?
I don't know. That's a good question.
I think we have like 4 or 5 Iowa does it.
I know a lot of people who go to Illinois.
Yeah.
Some in this room.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. 4 or 5 bordering states that have legalized gambling, but we don't need that tax money in Missouri. Our roads are fine,
Can somebody just explain to me why it's still such an issue where it's being held up here?
Apparently, there's like one guy that's doing it. It's like some idiot in Jeff City.
Brooke, this is a long-standing Missouri thing. If you want to, by your choice, lose money, you have to be next to a body of water. Your feet have to be in the Mississippi or Missouri rivers. I think you should be able to get away with the pair, but no one wants to stand in it. You just got to put your toes in a little water, and then you can bet wherever you want in this state. It makes sense. It's logical.
Ridiculous.
I don't know what your issue is.
It's true.
Is it bad of me that I don't know a guy's name and don't know him from Adam, but I still called him an idiot?
No.
Okay.
You have enough proof of something that you don't necessarily need to know who a person is.
Okay.
To know
what
if they're
they
an
are.
idiot or not. There you go. To know what they are.
Okay, so yes, every bordering state of Missouri has legalized sports gambling, except for Oklahoma.
Wow.
But Arkansas does. Iowa does, Illinois does.
It's because of the slot machines.
Indiana does, Kentucky
and the gas
does.
stations.
Yeah, Tennessee. So
Is that still the thing that's holding it up?
literally what this is?
The slot machines?
Yeah. Isn't that amazing? So the only bordering state of, and we have 7 bordering states. The only one that doesn't is Oklahoma.
Is it 7 or 8?
So Oklahoma, Arkansas, and you know I'm a geography whiz here. Kentucky, Illinois, that's 4, right? Iowa is 5. 5?
Kansas.
Nebraska, Kansas.
God, this could have been a good thing for the game tomorrow.
It would.
Name the states that border Missouri.
Kansas, Nebraska. Iowa,
would have been good.
3. Illinois, 4.
Wait, Nebraska borders Missouri?
Yeah. What? Kentucky, 5.
Did you say?
Don't you remember the Big 12? Tennessee, 6. Arkansas, 7. Oklahoma's 8.
It's 8.
Right.
I know. I did learn a thing or two about a thing or two.
Somebody said, "Let me gamble from my couch on Sunday."
Thank you. How did we get here?
To be 100% honest,
question.
I would have bet $50 that Missouri physically touched Oklahoma or Nebraska, but not both of them.
Oh yeah, that's why
I thought there was some overlap there. I would have lost some money.
It used to be that in the old Big 12, the only bordering state that we didn't have a rivalry with, rivalries were Kentucky and Arkansas, and now we've changed, obviously, and we've lost our friends in Iowa and all of that stuff. Kansas, Nebraska.
Forget you guys. We had this conversation. I just found a new thing to list for later on down the road. So forget we had this conversation about states that border Missouri, because I'm going to write that one down.
8.
Did you say Tennessee?
I did say Tennessee.
Okay, yeah.
What would you have, like
little, it's like a little leg.
100 yards, maybe?
Yeah.
100 yards? Might be a little more than that.
I would have lost.
Yeah. You would have lost on that one, on Tennessee?
Somebody says Missouri borders 11 states?
It's 8.
It's 8. We just counted them. We just gave them to you. We know our geography.
Hold on a second.
Second grade.
The 618 texted that. It's not their geography.
Oh,
okay.
Clearly.
So I'm going to give them a little bit of a pass.
Maybe.
Also, we're getting multiple texts on there being unknown idiots around Missouri who are stopping video gambling. We're getting somebody saying it's somebody from Warrensburg. Apparently, there's a politician from Neosho, which I think is the one I've heard a bunch of times.
They're advanced in Neosho. They've got to figure it out.
Well, I think it make it better, Randy, that you called multiple people you don't know from Adam idiots instead of just one.
Okay, thank you. Good.
Blanket statement. I think it's okay.
So, and if you are an idiot, sorry, not sorry.
Oh, yeah, and by the way, we didn't get a lot of correct answers, Carrie, for the trivia question. We got some.
What was the trivia question again? I don't have much of a...
The trivia question was... When was the last NFL season in which the Packers' leading passer was not an eventual Hall of Famer?
Was it Brett Hundley?
No. It was Don Majkowski.
It goes all the way back. Nobody within all those injuries to Aaron Rodgers, with the Matt Flynn stuff, he was still the leading passer. It goes all the way back to 1991, the last time.
The Magic Man.
No, it's starts with the T. I'm blanking on it right now. Oh my gosh.
Tim Tebow. That's the only quarterback that matters with a T.
That was extremely rude of you to say that.
Like quarterback that matters.
Tim Tebow.
I didn't think you were going to ask me this one. I had this the other day, and now I don't have it in front of me anymore.
It wasn't Don Majkowski?
No, Majkowski was their leading passer in 1990.
Yeah. It was Brett Hundley in 2017.
That's not what Pro Football Reference says.
Pro Football Reference, leading passer, top 2017, Brett Hundley.
Oh. Mike Tomjack was their leading passer in 1990.
Yeah.
If I'm saying it right, I can't. It looks like Kachuk. So I'm not maybe pronouncing it wrong. Did I miss one in there?
Hundley, 1836. Rodgers, 1675.
I overlooked it.
2017. I went to one of their games and they got shut out by the Ravens. And Brett Hundley was abysmal.
Not great. Not a great day for him.
Not a great day. And let's see. Let me just give you this again. Hundley started 9. Rodgers started 7. 2017 is the correct answer.
Nice.
Yep.
Sorry, not sorry.
Pro Football Reference is extremely fickle. Actually, my eyes are extremely fickle. I saw a run of Rodgers, and I was like, really, none of those seasons? And because these things just kind of pop into my head, and I randomly check them out.
Wasn't he?
UCLA guy, yeah.
Yeah, and here's why I remember, because of that, because I wasted a weekend. Well, I didn't waste a weekend, but I did waste my time going with Brett Hundley.
Yeah, it was a game here?
No, it was in Green Bay.
Then you didn't waste a weekend.
I didn't know.
You saw a game in Lambeau Field.
That's
a bucket list item for a lot of people.
It is.
That's a bucket list item for me.
I would love to do that.
Got beat up on?
I would like to see a game at Arrowhead Stadium. Have you guys done that?
I have done that.
I've never been to
that's a little different. I can't experience it that way, Carrie.
A little different.
Steve Blake and Everett.
I've never been to an opposing NFL stadium before.
Really? Do you guys remember the game, the Denver-Kansas City game, where Dante Hall had the unbelievable punt return at the end?
And he's like a joystick.
Yep. I was at that game.
Yes.
It was unbelievable back in the day.
What they
Yeah,
call
we
him,
need to
Gary?
do, because the ratio always does a Chiefs game trip. We should do that.
I'm with it.
And I think I could, I know I can get us to Green Bay.
Also, again, I was talking about this with friends over the weekend. We in St. Louis always forget. Indianapolis is the same drive as Kansas City.
It's closer.
Exactly.
Lucas Oil Stadium is exactly 3 hours from here, from my driveway. Yep. So, yeah, we could do that, too. We could go see Coach Venturi. He can get us tickets.
Make it happen.
Yeah, it'd be fun. We got to get Coach Venturi on, find out how bad that team is.
Oof.
You think he'll be honest about
Let's
it?
ask him. Can we get him on Friday?
Yeah. I'm not here, but you can. I'll set him up for you. Yeah, we'll do it. Thank you.
Jam-packed the next 2 days, but we should have room.
There's our producer, audio engineer, Matthew Rocchio. Thank you.
Pleasure.
So did we give away tickets to somebody with the wrong answer?
Yep.
Okay.
Maybe.
Brooke, was this fun?
It was.
How about that?
CD?
Show us your face.
We want to see your face. Who said that? You want to see my face?
It hurts me that you don't care about seeing my face. It hurts me, YouTube. Hurts me to the core. All right.
They want to see your face. You just have to prod them a little bit.
Okay.
There you go.
We thank you for tuning in, texting in, and being a part of the show. For all of us, until tomorrow morning at 7, have a great day, St. Louis.
That's right.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
I'm Jim Onder. After an injury,